Welcome to Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup. I'm your host, Jason Bland, and tonight we have returning guest, Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. If you didn't miss her last time, boy, I predicted she'd be a soupy guest because she'd go down a lot of different rabbit holes, and yes, she did, and we definitely didn't have enough time to explore all those different topics that she has a lot of insights on. But she's an internationally renowned naturopathic doctor, energy healer, remote viewer, paranormal expert, and consciousness teacher. She's had a lot of different weird, amazing experiences. We're going to talk a lot about her energy healing and the technology behind it. But we also want to get into her experiences. Last time we didn't even get to talk to her about a couple of her alien abductions experiences. I'd love to get into that tonight. Pretty much, like I said, she's a soupy guest, so expect us to go down a lot of different topics tonight. And then she said she would do readings tonight as an energy healer. So we'll open up the phone lines later in the show. You can call in, and it'll be a short reading, but see what she can pick up on you. I think last time we didn't get hardly time for anybody to get a reading, so this time I want to make sure we do, and we'll do that after the second commercial break tonight. We'll open up the phone lines. You call in, ask Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, basically to do a reading for you, see what she comes up with. I think it's more on the healing energy reading kind of deal, if I remember right. But we got a lot to get to in the World Wide Web as well. A lot of weirdness going on the last week or so. I think the weirdness is continuing for years now. It's just what's going on in the world, craziness as it is now, the 21st century. We got a lot of weirdness, of course, every Sunday night. So let's go ahead and get rolling on into it. Welcome to another night of Paranormal Soup. As I said before, I'm your host, Jason Bland. Tonight's guest, Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, will be joining us after the World Wide Web Weird, after our first commercial break. Joining me, as always, is my beautiful co-host, Jamie D. How you doing tonight, Jamie?
Doing well, thank you. I love these stupid guests. I just cannot wait to hear what we have tonight.
You were on last time we had her, so definitely I'm glad you got to make it for this show tonight to meet Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. And, like you were just said you were posting something about frequencies and energy healing today on Facebook, and it's definitely something I believe, and I believe it's just as much as part of my spiritual beliefs is the idea that we're all energy and frequency, and it can be affected remotely. Space and time, there's no problem. It can all be affected. From St. Augustine, Florida, Rob Autry himself. How you doing tonight, Rob?
Doing good. I think. faking it if I'm not. So.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. I got a dental appointment tomorrow morning for a root canal, so I'm not looking forward to that. But I'll try to enjoy my night with you guys. But thinking about, I fear the dentist. Like I hate the dentist. Maybe it's my alien abduction experiences. I hate the dentist. Oh my god, it freaks me out. I've been thinking about it all day. No fun. Oh, darn it. I totally lost my train of thought. I was going to mention something. Next Sunday. That's it. Next Sunday, there won't, because I know some of you guys don't catch the end of the show. Next Sunday, there won't be a Paranormal Soup. One, I need to do some cleanup work on my computer. You notice it's been lagging a little bit. I need to work on cleaning that up, and our guest canceled, so I'm going to work on cleaning some stuff up, getting some stuff updated for the show, and because I am booked with guests all the way into next year. So I'm going to hold off, because I don't want to do an ITC show, because we have the Halloween show coming up in a month. Halloween Eve, and we'll be a lot of spirit box stuff going on for that night, so I'm kind of saving it for then. All right, guys, we got a lot of weird to get to, so let's go ahead and roll into the World Wide Web of Weird. Tonight on the World Wide Web of Weird, this is something I wanted to cover last week because I knew this person made this prediction, but I was looking for a good article on it or more background on it. I just knew it was a TikTok thing, which I don't have access to TikTok. Jamie looks up and researches my TikTok for me. Hey, don't take TikTok off your phone. But there's a lot of psychic TikTok people out there, it seems like, making predictions or saying they're time travelers making predictions. And we got one here that actually made one and was right. Bloke who correctly predicted Queen's death is issuing warning now to King Charles III. For those listening on the Paranormal Soup or radio network on the Paranormal Paranormal radio app, Talkstream Live there. We are a webcast. We stream out live every Sunday night on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you want to watch, you can watch. I'll narrate as best as possible. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Yeah, see, I can tell I'm lagging. Like, I got to get something with my computer here. So it's taking forever just to pull up the screen here. All right, there we go. All right. Oh, I think this was not a TikTok. This was a Twitter user. Never mind. This was Twitter. Just as bad. Let's get rid of Twitter, too. Twitter user Logan Smith tweet July has gone viral after he correctly predicted the Queen's passing on September 8th with a warning about when King Charles III's reign will come to an end. A bloke has gone viral on Twitter after he correctly predicted the date of the Queen's death, as he also gave warnings about the King Charles III. Logan Smith, who's posted on social media as Logan_Smith526, initially tweeted back that the Queen would die on September 8th, 2022, back in July, which tragically became a reality on Thursday. And I remember seeing that. This was predicted before. When she died, I go, oh, wow, they need I didn't cover it. There's so much of this crap. Making predictions, I almost did because I was like, well, that's a pretty close prediction. When people make predictions about way stuff far out, sure, whatever, buddy. Who knows? We'll see. Be dead before we know you're right? But this guy was making a very, back in July prediction, September 8th, that specific date. How do you know? Now the tweet is going viral as people are concerned that the bloke's prediction of King Charles III's death will come true. Oh, wait, I skipped a part. No. Oh, yeah, because King Charles' death will come true. As he claims the new monarch will die on March 28th, 2026. Now, that's a little bit out. Just a little bit. Not too far. It's not too far out compared to other people's predictions, But it's specific. Just as specific as September 8th. Smith has since made his Twitter account private after the post started to gain traction. Now he's getting followers, and now he's gone private. What's up? Yeah. Screenshots of the post have been shared over our social media platforms, including TikTok, which shows her looking shocked about the post. User whose name Haley wrote in a caption, "Rip to Logan, I know the British are coming for him." Her video gained more than 91,000 likes, so somebody on TikTok covered it, and now it's really viral. Because, all those young kids watching TikTok. People flocked to the comments divided over the tweet, as some believe it could come true, and others claim it can't be predicted. One user said, "Hope not for King Charles." One of the reasons I Didn't cover the prediction back in July when I saw I made it. I also don't give a crap about the Royals. You know, I really don't. I don't. I mean, she was old. She died. Oh, well. You know, sorry for the family's loss, you know, but, you know, she had a $100 million stamp collection. Boo. And she lived to a very old age. She had a great life. Great for her. I don't care. People obsessed with the Royals, get over it. I don't know.
Queen
I know I'm probably made people, man. Unsubscribe from you, Paranormal Soup. I am not a fan of the Royals. All right. Not hate her either. I don't nothing to hate about it, but who cares, you know? But the prediction thing here, whoever this guy is, and I find it really interesting. He went private. He's not trying to like, I made the prediction now, blah, blah. No, you like, shut up.
Yeah, he's not doing it for fame then. If he's going
Right.
private, that means like, oh shit. That's like when you say something, you don't know if it's really true or not till like really happens, or you don't say it. It's
Or
like,
I know
oh,
the future.
damn,
I
that
know
really
the date.
happened.
I'm a time traveler. I'm gonna be cocky and put this out there and like, whoops, oh shoot, the internet. I forgot about how quick excuse me, how quick stuff goes viral on the internet. Whoops, yeah, this dang 21st century in their internet. Now he's in trouble. All right, let's move on. This is another story we can continually cover. We covered it a lot last year because I'm a fan of Bigelow, Robert Bigelow. If I was a millionaire, I'd be doing the stuff he did. You know, he got into the whole UFO thing big time. You know, aerospace. He kind of had to. But after that, now he's into near-death or afterlife studies, communications with the afterlife after he lost his wife. This guy is a man after my own heart. I mean, literally doing what I would do if I had the money he had. Bigelow returns with a new $1 million effort to contact the other side. You remember last year he started a whole essay campaign. Whoever won get $1 million. Now he's putting more money into it. Back in 2021, Bigelow Aerospace founder and entrepreneur launched a drive to encourage scientists, philosophers, and other thinkers to pen essays laying down the case for that life after death. Through the Bigelow Institute for Consciousness Studies, he offered a prize totaling $1 million for the best and most convincing entries. In the end, 29 essays were selected. The winners were chosen based on the power of the arguments presented and how persuasively the essays made the case for survival of human consciousness beyond reasonable doubt, the Institute said in a statement at the time. Now, however, it seems as though Bigelow is not done with his mission to prove that there is an afterlife because he's following up the essays contest with a drive for researchers to conduct actual experiments resulting in genuine communication with someone on the other side. Another $1 million up for grabs, divided up into several smaller grants to be awarded to research teams based on the value of their proposals, laying out how they intend to accomplish this. According to the website, the research is to be exclusive to the survival of human consciousness beyond permanent bodily death, as well as exclusively focused on contact or communication with the other side. Exactly how researchers will propose to accomplish such a feat remains unclear, but it will certainly be interesting to see what the winning teams are planning to do. I am super interested in Bigelow. You're my hero. Like, if I had your money, I'd be doing the same thing. I mean, scientists don't look into things without grants and money. You need money to do this kind of serious research. And money ain't just laying around for grants. That's why why don't scientists expect life after death and alien abduction? Because there's no money. There's no money to be made, and there's no money there to give them. So no research. Scientists got to eat too. You know what I'm saying? So more power to Bigelow for funding this.
But yeah, people can get grants to, see how.
Ketchup flows.
Yeah.
From our government.
Yeah.
True story. True story.
Yeah. Yep.
Our government paid to see how fast ketchup will go down with gravity.
Nice.
Not joking. All right, let's move on now. Me and Jamie were talking about this earlier this week, and she's asked me if I was going to cover it. Of course I was going to cover this. Because this is a trend with war. And I know this is very viral. As Ukraine astronomers report they have been seeing UFOs everywhere. And that is literally historically what happens with war and UFOs. Go back to World War II, World War I, back to Alexander the Great and his conquest. They had a UFO come and blast a wall down. I mean, war somehow, for some reason, attracts UFOs. All right, so I got this one from Unexplained Mysteries. It's a shorter article. The original one, I think, was from Vice.com. The study, which is being conducted by astronomers from the Main Astronomical Observatory, MAO, of the National Academy of Science of Ukraine, has been using two meteor stations situated in Kiev and Vinorvaka. I think you say it. Village to scour the heavens for anything strange or unusual. Given that Ukraine is a war zone, it perhaps is not expected that there should be lots of planes, drones, and other aerial vehicles frequenting the skies of the country. But as it turns out, the researchers have been documenting a significant number of objects whose nature is not clear. The paper's authors describe two categories of UAP: cosmics, which are very luminous objects brighter than the sky, and phantoms, very dark objects that appear black against the sky. These objects were detected numerous times, often in groups of several at a time. The researchers also recorded some of them moving at considerable speeds. Flights of single group and squadrons of ships were detected moving at speeds from 3 to 15 degrees per second, they wrote. Some bright objects exhibit regular brightness variabilities in the range of 10 to 20 hertz. Two site observations of UAPs at a base of 120 kilometers with two synchronized cameras allowed the detection of variable objects at an altitude of 1,170 kilometers. It flashes for 1/100th of a second at an average of 20 hertz. Phantoms are observed in the troposphere at a distance up to 10 to 12 kilometers. We estimate their size to be 3 to 12 meters and speed up to 15 kilometers a second. The report has led to speculation that some of these objects are being operated by foreign powers such as China, and it could be secretive black projects that nobody currently knows anything about. Given events in Ukraine, it's not outside the realm of possibility that China could be operating such vehicles there. It's also possible these are secretive vehicles operated by the U.S. Whatever the case, it seems to have Ukraine's researchers quite intrigued. This is normal with war. For some reason, these UFOs have been spotted through multiple different campaigns and wars in history. And to me, it's always spoken to the fact that they have a stake in this planet in some way or living here. Maybe we're entertainment. Maybe the war's entertainment, but I doubt that. I really feel like they're keeping an eye on things to make sure these humans don't frick up their planet, too.
Yeah. They're probably like, stupidos are at it again.
Yeah. You know, they got underground bases, and we're like, oh, there's those humans up there again.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's historically what happens, you know.
I'm with you on that one.
So I'm not surprised by this, and I think I brought this up when we first went into Ukraine, that I think I had a part of the World Wide Web before, didn't I? That I talked about this, that there was probably going to be UFO sightings a lot, and be interesting to see what happens. I think I had this in the World Wide Web, and here we are. Here we are. It's just historically what happens. All right, let's move on. And then maybe aliens are, you know, besides what we do with war, what we do to the planet, we'll be interested in this one. If we did something like what I'm about to read about, I wonder what aliens would have to say about this. Scientists outline an outrageous plan to refreeze the North and South poles. Some climate experts have recently warned that human activities have pushed global warming past a tipping point, making the melting of the ice caps a practical inevitability. Now, though, a new study has headed up by Wake Smith from Yale University has put forward a controversial plan to refreeze the North and South poles and stop the issue in its tracks. To achieve this, scientists propose spraying microscopic aerosol particles into the atmosphere. That sounds really familiar. The particles, primarily sulfur dioxide, again, really familiar, would be sprayed into two large clouds in both hemispheres at around 43,000 feet, where they would drift towards the poles and cast a slight shadow over them. This, in turn, would reduce the temperature and minimize the ice loss. To accomplish such a feat, the scientists propose using a fleet of 125 military air-to-air refueling tanks that would require to conduct 175,000 flights a year. If this is all sound a bit iffy, then that's because it's not at least due to the potential unintended consequences of spraying such large amounts of particles into the atmosphere, but also because of the sheer logistics involved in launching more than 10,000 flights every month. So much for the CO2. The one thing I gotta say about that is, like, we're trying to stop this because of global warming and fossil fuel. All those planes use fossil fuels. I'm just saying, like, what we were the cat, you know, or the snake chasing its tail there. I don't know. It seems like it's not gonna work. The study's author, however, remains adamant that it would be a beneficial exercise. If the risk-benefit equation were to pay off anywhere, it would be at the poles, said Smith. Any intentional turning off the global thermostat would be a common interest to all of humanity. Given that the sheer scale and impact of the project, however, it would most likely need to be approval and support of international community before it could ever realistically go ahead. And this reminds me of all the stuff people say was going on with chemtrails. I mean, really. And Vice goes on further in an article. They don't mention it here on Unexplained Mysteries. It's a shorter article about that. It would only affect 10% of populated areas. Like, okay, so it would be sprayed over populated areas, is what you're saying. Who gets to, what's the 10% that gets the damn particle sprayed on them?
Is the unlucky 10%. Got to take one for the team. Grow a horn out of the side of your
global
head.
warming.
Yeah.
We do have they say was it the North Pole?
Remember the zombie ice that's supposed to make the ocean rise an inch,
Right,
or
that's what I was just gonna say.
whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Yet all of our frickin' rivers and everything are drying up. Lake Mead is drying up. The Nile, I think, is drying up.
My mom put it right.
Yeah.
People believe my mom. This is so my mom right here. This is so my mom. Yeah. Of course, it's being delayed. I am so laggy right now. Yes, Mom. Exactly.
Truth right there.
Yeah. I don't think it's a great idea. All right, we got to move on, though. I'm going to run out of time. Oh, yeah. Running out of time quick here. I saw this. Man, I don't have time to read this whole article because I'm running out of time. But you see this one another one from Vice, actually. I have the actual Vice article here just because I have the picture. See, it won't take the damn thing off now. See, my mom's swearing on there. She's like, can you take that off, please? Yeah, I know. All right. Paleontologists find 150 million year old Jurassic barf in Utah. Oh. Yeah, I have to show this one to my son. I keep forgetting to. Yes, I don't have time to read the whole article. This is from Vice. You can see it. But yes, in Utah, they found Jurassic barf. I learned reading this whole article, I learned a whole new thing, that this is normal, that this isn't like the first time they found Jurassic barf. It's actually a whole study. They find poop and barf from dinosaurs fossilized. That there's a whole specialty in this. They're like chromocytes, I think, are barf, and what was the bromocytes is the poop. Imagine that being your paleontology specialty. Yes,
I don't know, but I'm taking
chromocytes and bromocytes. That's poop and dinosaur puke to you.
That's dinosaur scat.
I wonder what the dinosaur ate to make him puke.
Yeah, it talks about that in the article about them eating maybe there is some lizard stuff in there that could have maybe they've been poisonous, upset its tummy. Poor T-Rexes, man. Their best friends don't have long enough arms to pull. Oh, they don't have hair. Never mind. Sorry, Jurassic barf. All right, we got to move on though. I don't want to run out of time. All right, so we got another. This AI thing's getting out of hand, man. It's getting out of hand. Now, I called this too. I said it'd be leading to some new urban legend kind of thing, and that's exactly what this is. Creepy AI-generated woman, Loab, if that's how you say it, is social media's latest urban legend. Earlier this year, we covered the story of remarkable and disturbing capabilities of OpenAI's DALL-E, artificial intelligence which can generate images absolutely anything at all simply by typing in a description of it, natural language, and letting it interpret the request as it sees fit. The results could be unnerving to say the least, leading to a whole new category of images, usually frighteningly distorted and creepy, of mundane things as imagined by AI computer algorithms. The latest product of this trend, which has become something of an urban legend on social media, is the face of a woman named Loab. Loab, you think I'm saying that right? Which was created by Twitter musician Super Composite using a custom AI text image model similar to, but not the same as DALL-E. By messing around with what we know as negative prompts, she was able to get the AI to repeatedly produce variations of an image of a woman with distorted features and red cheeks. What is weird is because of the way the system generates these images, this woman's face seems to somehow exist within the latent space of the AI's memory, and in fact represents the negative of a request to produce an image of something else opposite of the sorts. Exactly why the AI repeatedly produces a version of this particular face remains unclear, which makes the resulting image all the creepier, especially given that some of them are quite disturbing. Ultimately, the phenomenon is likely to be a quirk in the software, but it's a strange one nonetheless. There's going to be issues. Oh, it's not showing.
They have a couple different ones, too, besides just her. They have like a category for like LG.
I thought it was Caitlyn Jenner, but I don't know.
They have an LG
after plastic surgery. One. I don't know.
Does kind of look like Caitlyn.
Yeah, like bad Caitlyn surgery. I don't know. All right, let's move on to the last one. Speaking of AI, this is going to be reassuring for everyone. I've covered this before. Why is it that these things keep telling us they're not going to kill us or take us over? They got to keep telling us. Maybe it's because we keep asking. This is from Daily Mail, but I got the shorter article from Unexplained Mysteries. We only got like 2 minutes. Robot capable of mimicking human expressions offered as assurances that it has no plans for the world domination. The scenario world taken over by sentient robots bent on wiping out human masters has been covered in numerous science fiction, blah, blah, blah. We know that. In a recent video posted by a British robotics company, Engineered Arts, various individuals can be seen having a conversation with Mika, an impressively lifelike humanoid robot capable of mimicking human expressions and mannerisms. The robot has fully articulated head and neck. It's very creepy. In one clip, a man asks Mika about a book entitled Robots that is sitting on the table. There's no need to worry, Mika replies. Robots will never take over the world. We're here to help and serve humans, not replace them. He was asking you about the book. You're going right to that AI. You know, it is getting a little bit frightening.
The fact that AI even knows that.
Right. A lot of this AI is, it's not artificial intelligence per se. It's not self-aware consciousness or anything like that. But it pulls all of its knowledge a lot of times from an internet resource or from data,
like how
large
Alexa
amounts of data.
Will learn itself. The more Wi-Fi connects, it learns itself. I think I did this one on Wednesday, and I had the video. And the way she would
show
respond,
the robot, yeah,
it's creepy.
I can imagine this thing strangling me to death.
I can too, and getting smarter.
Now the younger generations can be like, "Yeah, I want my robot assistant in my home and help me," and they're going to be all for it. And this old people will be old with cranes, like, "Get that goddamn thing away from me!"
They're already getting people to bond with these robot creatures and feel empathy towards them.
I'm here to help you, Jason.
Yeah. Let's hope they feel empathy towards us, but they won't because they're AI robots and they have no feelings. I should have the Terminator clip. It has no feelings. All right, that's it for the World Wide Web of Weird. Tonight's guest, Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, will be joining us. Like I said, later on in the show, she said she does want to do readings, so we will have you guys call in. Like I said, this very soupy guest here. She gets down a lot of different topics, but definitely going to cover energy healing. We got a lot to get to with this guest because we didn't get to cover everything last time, and I'm sure we won't tonight. But I do want to open up the phone lines for you guys tonight, so you can call in, join the conversation. Maybe she can do a mini reading for you tonight, energy-wise, when we come back from the short commercial break.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Encounters of the second kind, physical evidence of a UFO. Close encounters of the third kind, contact. From Steven Spielberg, the director of Jaws, comes one of the most ambitious and unusual films ever made. And what you will see has never been seen before. It's a cosmic mystery crossing what many scientists believe will be the next threshold of human experience. It is called Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It begins in an Indiana town and leads to one inescapable conclusion. We are not alone. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Certificate A. Now showing at the Odeon, Leicester Square.
The international chart-topping, Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest has been described as terrifyingly real, a must-read, shocking and chilling brilliance, genuinely worrying, utterly frightening. Don't read before bed. Described as one of the spookiest writers out there, best-selling author G.L. Davies presents Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest, the true paranormal account that is shocking the world. Dare you enter? Dare you read? Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, and wherever books are sold. Pray you never have to live there.
This is the sound of a space clock aboard a U.S. satellite 180 miles above the Earth. No one winds up this timepiece. It's powered by a tiny battery, a battery that delivers power for years without replacement. Now the same type of battery, the Duracell battery, can bring new reliability and long life to your battery-operated equipment. Radios, cameras, toys, all run far longer. Duracell batteries, the long-distance power cells, outlast any ordinary battery. The same type of battery that keeps space clocks running for years can bring long life to anything powered by batteries. Dura, as in durable. Cell, as in power cell. The Duracell battery, made by Mallory.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from Talkstream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Switch to DCS ranging.
240, nominal to profile.
We're in the pipe, 5 by 5.
Tonight on Paranormal Soup, we have returning guest Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. Dr. Kimberly McGeorge is an internationally renowned naturopathic doctor, energy healer, remote viewer, paranormal expert, and consciousness teacher. Her extensive client list includes some of the world's most talented healers, and for the past 25 years, she has worked on thousands of people around the world. Dr. Kimberly was born with the ability to remote view, see people's auras, and was highly intuitive. While still in college, she helped police on many occasions. Finding she had natural affinity with herbs, she worked as a herbalist and went on to create and distribute her own line of herbal organic products internationally. During this time, her personal practice expanded to multiple clients throughout the Columbus area, driven by her inner knowing that her healing work could be made much quicker, more affordable, and amplified exponentially using technology. Dr. Kimberly consulted with an esteemed neurosurgeon and realized that healing frequencies in naturopathy could be applied to all areas of her clients' lives. Her latest groundbreaking program, Frequency Masters, teaches how to master frequencies in your own life and train other healers to use her own unique and successful methods. Last year, we had Dr. Kimberly on the show, and like I said, we ran way out of time. There was so much I wanted to get into question-wise with her. We had a great discussion, but we also didn't get a chance for you guys to totally call in. So, like I said, after the next commercial break, we will definitely open the phone lines. Call in tonight. I believe she said she'll do some like mini energy readings. We'll get that from her. We got a lot to get to, so let's go ahead and get to our guest. Oh, my guest was there. I saw her there. I didn't see her leave. Uh-oh. She was in the waiting room. Uh-oh. Let me check my email.
I saw her box there.
Yeah. Let me go back to my email, see if she's got anything. She was there. What happened? I saw her in the waiting room. If you're listening, Dr. Kimberly, you were in. I just had to add you in. I just keep you in the waiting room when we do the intro. But usually when they're in the waiting room, they can see and hear everything. I wonder if she was having issues.
Your new AI has removed her, Jason.
Right.
Maybe she hit the leave button by accident.
Ooh, maybe. All right, guys, hang in there. I'm checking my email, seeing if she emails me. I mean, it looked like she was fine. I mean, I couldn't hear her. We didn't do a sound check with her. And last time we had her on, we didn't have any issues. She was in the StreamYard with us. But not now. I mean, she was there. I wonder what happened.
I don't think she would have just left because you were doing the intro and everything.
No, I'm guessing she has like a technical issue.
Yeah.
I gotta check and see. I know I have her contact information if I gotta call her somewhere. I'm looking for it. That's not.
Oh, she's back. She's back.
Oh, there she is. Okay. All right. Hopefully everything's working right.
Hi.
All right. Well, hey, hold on. There we go. My stuff's lagging. Yeah, I saw you in the waiting room and then you left. I'm like, oh no, what happened?
Yeah. So yeah, trouble getting on tonight. Probably interference.
Yeah. Mercury in retrograde, right, Jamie? Still, right? Yeah. Ever since Mercury went retrograde, my computer's running laggy, and I was gonna clean it up this week, and of course, the week got away from me, and I realized I was getting set up. I'm like, oh yeah, you did do that. So I apologize for any technical difficulties. Will probably be on my end tonight. It's an honor to have you back on the show, Dr. Kimberly. Dr. Kimberly, all right? You just call you Dr. Kimberly?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we're good.
All right. Yeah, last time we had a lot. I predicted you would be a soupy guest last time, and you totally were. When we say soupy, we mean you go down a lot of different topics, a lot of different avenues, a lot of different experiences, and I love that. It's my favorite type of guest. I think you said you did want to do some mini readings later in the show tonight.
Yeah, sure. If I'm awake, I don't know. It'll be me or somebody else doing them. I don't know if I leave my body. Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
no Kimberly that doesn't release soul. No. Well, tonight, do want to, get kind of a recap for people that might have missed you last year. I know Jamie wasn't on for that one. So, by the way, this is Jamie up here. You had Rob with us last time. About your energy healing work and how you got involved in all this, believing and using frequencies to heal people.
Well, I mean, I started out as a pretty conventional naturopathic doctor, shoveling out the massive amounts of, vitamins and things. And I found, although I was highly accurate, I used applied kinesiology, I had very low compliance. So I, give people a lot of things to take. And of course you can't get well if you don't take it. And so I was really looking for something that would reduce people's costs to getting well as something that was a little more comprehensive than just physical. And so at the time I was dating or engaged to a neurosurgeon at Johns Hopkins University. And he really worked with me on kind of bringing homeopathy into my business and frequencies and, eventually using frequency, through our apps to, I'm going to put the word in quotes. I'm really not supposed to use it. I'm not going to use it because I don't want to get in trouble, but, kind of see what's imbalanced in people, mind, body, soul, because everything's frequency. So we can read thoughts with frequency. We can read emotions with frequency. There's nothing you can't really find out if you know how to read frequency, and our apps know how to read frequency. So we kind of switched over from shoveling a lot of, hardcore supplements to using it as a diagnostic tool, and then, kind of giving frequencies to help remove programming, help balance emotions, help remove trauma, as well as sometimes it does work on acute, illnesses as well. So that was kind of the switch over, was low compliance and me just desiring, to help my clients at a higher level.
I always found it interesting. I got I kind of like introduced to that back in like the early 2000s by a woman who owned a metaphysical shop that was doing this kind of like energy frequency remotely for people. And I thought it was so fascinating. For people, some people have trouble with this. They don't like, no way you can eliminate and I would say eliminate an element. We'll call it that, an ailment or something like that, remotely, or by vibration. But you look at the leading science, and everything's energy, everything's frequency. The universe is everything is not this crude matter we believe it is. So why not be able to affect something remotely, and that consciousness affects reality?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And we have the placebo effect. We have the placebo effect also, which helps in our benefit.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. So, just your intention when you hire someone like me, your intention to, get well, or your intention to not be depressed, or, that absolutely helps in the healing. But one of the things that people struggle with is they don't understand, number one, what we're in, which we talked, I think, a lot about last time. So we're in a closed reality system that is under a time program, but outside of the closed reality system that I call the game, there is no such thing as time. So you can access future, past lives, all time, all space from when you came out of the all at any time. There is non-locality. Just like there's non-locality of this broadcast can be reached, I assume, all over the world, all over the country, whatever. It's exactly the same thing. So we have no problem, picking up our cell phones and calling someone in Germany.
Right.
But we have a problem believing that I can't, read someone's energy or test somebody, by pinging their frequency in Germany. There's absolutely no difference. We're radio towers, we're radio receivers. So, we're exactly the same thing as a cell phone tower. People just don't understand, what the electrical avatar really is.
Well, we had a guest on, I think it was last week. We were talking about the afterlife and near death, and it was a really great show. But the whole point you want to get across to everybody is that we're all one. We're all connected.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I thought it was beautiful, and how it would change the world if we actually solidly believed that. But also medically, that we are all connected, that we can affect each other, and everything is energy and vibration. And I know we talked a little bit about seeing auras and the energy field, and now we live in a society where we're also bombarded by a lot of different things like EMF, and also our diets and the stuff, GMOs they put in our food. It seems like we're being attacked too energetically by ourselves, by what we're doing in society.
Absolutely. One of the, everyone comes up as poison. So if you are dipping into the public food supply at all, whether it's through, corporations and the packaged food, or even in the vegetable and fruit section, and even if you're growing it yourself at home, if you're not growing it in an enclosed greenhouse where there's no outside contamination, and you're not using filtered water, and you're not using, completely natural fertilizer, we say we're growing these organic, animals and these organic gardens, but chemtrails are a thing. We're being bombarded from the sky. So even if you're growing your organic produce, it's still testing for pesticides and herbicides and metals and all the things that, fall from the sky. Not just from the sky, there's a lot going on. Also, we see when we test a lot of EMF or electrical pollution, we see everyone's, including newborn babies, thyroids just destroyed because there's so much radiation from all the nuclear and high tech, not even beyond nuclear, like more the, hand of God or whatever they call it, weapons, which is just high frequency stuff, that we've had on the planet forever. And in this game, because this is a game of suffering, this is a war game. So, everybody's like, oh, the Grand Canyon was caused by a flood. Of course it was. And it was caused by, hardcore mining as well as sophisticated frequency weapons. So a lot of, what we've been told, is lies. And we can see the lies mapped out in the physical avatar in the body and in the holographic energy field. Why would babies be born in the United States, all over the United States, not just one location, with decimated thyroids? Why does every single person, I could pull any random
I had
person.
my thyroid. I had to have half my thyroid taken out because I had a growth on it. It was not cancerous, but still.
There's even other defects than even just that I'm noticing, that why in all these different spots are all these kids around these same ages developing these same issues. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah, I like that too. And, often they'll build schools over, radioactive waste sites and all sorts of crazy stuff. I don't think that's accidental. All those sites are usually built over ley lines, and the ley lines all over the world, they're either held, and you might know about this, but they're held by either dark or light forces. Of course, this is a polarity game, so it's constantly the chessboard. But, depending, what all shopping malls are built on ley lines, all roundabouts, those roundabouts that you go round and round, and it's like, take the fourth roundabout. And you're like, what? Like, those are all built on ley line junctures. So we think all this stuff is random. But when you're going in those roundabouts, when you're driving, it's actually harvesting energy. It's actually an energy creating, an energy vortex, and it's pulling energy from you. So, this is a harvesting place. This is a place that's accessible outside of the dome, as Stephen King, told us very clearly, as Westworld tells us what this is. Yeah, under the dome. So, and of course he has really high occult knowledge. He's very high up in the, satanic church. So he knows stuff that the general
I remember you
public
saying
doesn't.
that last time, I think, about Stephen King being the satanic church.
Yeah.
I'm a big Stephen King fan. I got a
That's
ton of Stephen King
that's
books.
a shocking accusation. Have we ever read one single thing he's written or watched one single movie? Like, wow, that's not really a shocking accusation.
No.
I mean, and he freely admits it. He has no problem. I mean, not maybe publicly.
I would say he freely admits that. No.
Yeah.
I would say, but he's definitely always been down the dark side of things and interest in it, at least.
Yeah.
Shown that he has, has no problem with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just, if you understand this is a suffering game and you understand that ET races from outside are allowed to interfere, we're allowed to be taken. We're allowed to be experimented on. And we see the energy signature in every single, I call them avatars, but you might call them human beings, but human being on the, planet is being taken. So there's no one, we have not ever checked anyone, no matter the age, no matter the place, that's not being taken. The difference is who's taking you for what purposes. Some people are taken by the military. Some people are taken by ETs. Some people are taken by local people. I mean, 3-letter agencies. It's just who's taking you and why. But every single person here is.
Some people are being taken astrally. They're taken by entities from another realm. I mean, I've had an experience when I was young that, I can't quantify in the paranormal world as what it was, because it's not alien, it's not ghost, it's something. I don't like to even say it's demon, but something that came after me and it took me out of my body astrally several times and tortured me. So I believe there's things out there we can't explain. That are malevolent, that are you want to call evil or whatever this was.
Right. We're also seeing strong. I might have talked about this last time. I don't remember. We're also seeing excessive and a lot of succubus incubus signatures. So multiple times a week, people. I mean, again, men, women, children, everybody's being messed with by the succubus incubus. I sometimes think that's because I haven't totally traced it, but I mean, you turn on Netflix and you can watch basically XXX stuff. Like, I mean, you can get that.
No, we talked about that last time. We talked about how, like, I think I said last time, I don't want to be a prude because I had my indiscretions on that, but I really feel like as a culture, we've ruined sex. We've made sex so just, materialistic or desensitized.
To everything.
Right. I mean, the other night, I forgot in the 80s a movie. My kids wanted to watch a real werewolf movie because we watched a movie that was not a real werewolf movie. So I saw American Werewolf in London. I forgot about the sex scene. And I forgot 1980s had some raunchy sex scenes. I'm like, oh, pause that. But then I thought about it. I'm like, oh, it's nothing compared to now, though. I mean, still it's not that bad. But I was like, okay, we'll fast forward through that. You can see the werewolf now. I'm like, close your eyes, fast forwarding, you know.
But
But
it even used to be less is more, and now it's like as raunchy and shocking as you can get to where.
And I think we talked about it, is it's sexual energy is a power. You know, there's a power in sex, and it people, you know, I think don't understand that and how they're hurting themselves.
Yeah, and a lot of it is tied to the snuff films and the pedophiles and the dark web. You know, of course, you know, Disney's been outed, we even know, as being
Oh,
very,
yeah.
you know, tied to that, to the point that under, I think it's their Americana or one of their most innocent type of, you know, Midwestern rides, they actually have an auction room where they auction off you know, human beings, like, while, you know, everyone's merrily, you know, doing their thing. It's just so funny to me, like all the flip side, you know, kind of like Stranger Things shows us the upside down. It's constantly, I mean, we're in the upside down, but then there's like upside down of the upside down, you know, the all the tunnels and all the core, you know, the inner earth. It's just crazy, all the stuff that goes on along there. And what people don't understand is even in the smallest towns and villages, you know, there's that underside. They all have tunnels under them. That's where all the prostitution and the drugs and the gambling and the mafia operates, along with law enforcement. You know, you have this whole underground secret world under every single one of your towns, you know, and we wonder why people disappear in bars and nightclubs and we don't know where they go. Most of the time when I remote view these, you know, cold cases, a lot of times they're just yanked, you know, they're just taken through a door or a tunnel or, you know, an entrance underground.
Just
It's not any
Shanghai.
big, yeah.
Well, you know, I was telling this to somebody I work with the other. They were bringing up the stuff they were watching some documentary on Netflix and about human trafficking, and is that you realize human trafficking is one of the oldest, you know, criminal organizations in our history. I mean, you know, we've been trafficking and selling humans, and not talking about slavery. I'm talking about for sex and for bad things and children being. It's a hidden thing that's been around for thousands of years, and you know, it's never gone away. You know, as much as we can civilize ourselves and all that, it's still there. We still have this evil within our society of treating people like cattle and abusing people.
You know what's sad, Jason, is intergalactically, even more important than all the, you know, the quartz that drive the ships. All ships, you know, all time, all space, and all dimensions are driven by quartz technology. So quartz is a very valued thing to make the chips and stuff to drive the ships. But even among that, it's really sad. The highest value gold, everything is still children and human trafficking. That's still, even in all the dimensions, you know, and outside the game, it's still the biggest thing. They have huge ships. You know, Dark Fleet and the Germans are really involved in that, in the human trafficking, and it's a big trade intergalactically. And, you know, if you watch Star Trek and you watch Stargate, you know, they'll tell you the same thing. They'll show you, you know, elements of this, you know, big human trafficking industry, but it continues on. It's not just here. It's in many planets, many places.
We had a guest on a couple weeks ago on the topic of alien abduction. And you know, in some sense, and you're saying from what you know is that everybody's taken in some way from someone, and we're all being abducted in some way. But in the alien abduction thing, say, let's just say the Greys taking people, you know, all the signatures are you know, putting implants in people, tagging them, you know, taking taking stuff from the reproductive organs, you know, experimentation, you know, just like we would treat animals in the wild that we're studying. And you know, so in a sense, you know, there's something valuable maybe to the aliens in us that they keep coming and taking people. You've had, and we didn't get to talk about this much last time, but you've had a couple of abduction experiences, and obviously you have a well-rounded knowledge of what's going on beyond the veil of what's with aliens. And I don't know. I only, you know, what you know, but I've heard you speak about, like, you know, the Dark Fleet and all these things. What is your knowledge that you can share about alien abduction, your experiences with it, and what are the aliens doing here?
So I think we need to get back to, you know, what I teach is there is no such thing as human. There's only human avatar. So these are Adamic, you know, biblically Adamic, Adam. These are, you know, human avatars. But the soul You have many choices as a soul. Some people chose to come here. Some people were captured and got stuck here. And some people paid to come here. This is the hottest. I might have talked about this before. I don't remember, but this is the hottest game. You know how gaming, if you guys are gamers,
Right.
you go through different phases. You know where this game's popular, this game's popular. Well, the Earth game, it's actually spelled URTH throughout the galaxy, is the most popular game because all these beings that are ancient and powerful and can do anything and are super, super old are bored. So they're like, yeah, memory wipe me. I'm going to figure out this game. I'm going to remember who I am. I'm going to remember my power. I'm going to remember that I'm psychic. I'm going to remember that I can blow up buildings and kill people with thoughts. Like, sure. But what they don't understand is they underestimate the game a little bit, and they underestimate, the technology that's used to run the game. But, all that being said, so first of all, this is a free for all, and there's many people here. People talk about the cabal. The cabal often are the people that do have full memory. Some of the controllers, they have exit routes. So I probably talked about this before, but every Hilton hotel, anything owned by the Hiltons has jump rooms. Every single Hilton hotel has a jump room. And a jump room generally goes to two places. It goes to Mars and Venus. So you guys, as the public, are lied about can life be on Mars? What is the moon? Can life be on Venus? So a lot of times when, celebrities get killed or these multiple actors, because they play multiple parts, get killed, people think they go underground. Have you guys been in a base? Like I have. The bases are the most miserable things in the entire world. You would never escape to a base. It doesn't matter what you do to it. If you put pools in, if you put gold in it, nobody wants to live underground that has lived above ground. So where do they go? They usually, if they're militant or they're working, there's three different factions. Mars is divided up into three different factions. Not going to go into that right now, but different people own three different parts of Mars, including our own military. But Venus is a vacation planet. So most of the elite and the cabal and the celebrities, when they retire or if they want to get away, they go to Venus, which is much nicer than Earth, more of a tropical location, much more water. They do their water sports. They do their islands. They drink their, margaritas. They have their cabanas. It's very similar to Earth, just nicer. Also, the whole Vietnam War was a cover for a huge Venus operation for I call it Galactic Federation of Non-Light, but they wanted to take over Venus at that time, and they used American soldiers, and soldiers in the Vietnam War and our equipment, and a lot of the missing prisoners of war that they never found or they said were killed, they're actually living it up because, you might lose your loved ones, but I'm telling you, Venus is a tropical paradise. So a lot of them got stuck or were made to stay in Venus after Venus was conquered. And the whole Vietnam War is a cover for the war and the conquering of Venus to make it a cabal-owned vacation paradise. So this is the BS. Like, we believe whatever we're told because we're memory wiped and we don't have the contacts and the knowledge. But I was born, I don't know if you remember, with partial memory, and it's just gotten more and more. Plus, now I have contact with these people. So when you work for SSP, when you work for Space Force, obviously, and a lot of my friends, have been involved.
This is like the Solar Warden kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Daytime. Solar Warden is actually daytime, what we call daytime Space Force. So you can run into people that are in this body with their memory. They're not being taken. They are being taken. A lot of people, I pity the people that work for Lockheed Martin because there is more kidnapping of our governments and those, and other planets and other races from Lockheed Martin, because that's like where all the super, super smart people are. So, I know a lot of people that have been in the daytime, kidnapped, removed, taken to daytime projects, which usually they're lied to about. They're usually cover projects and they're being used and memory wiped for something else. But still, there are people involved in a lot of these space projects, like you and I talking. They're not fully memory wiped and all of that.
And it's a lot of what you hear, like the MyLab abductions, you wonder is connected to that. When people talk more like they're being taken by the military, if they're a part of something like that, some kind of program. One of the things I thought about is I do remember last time you did talk about when you were born, you were bored as a baby because you had your memories. Like you were born with memories of your past lives or incarnations.
Right.
What you're talking about, life's a game. There's a show called Rick and Morty has
Oh.
it has this episode where they want to go to Fuddruckers in space or something like that it's called, and they have all these games there, alien games, and one of them is I can't remember the name of the game, but it was basically they put on this thing and they are suddenly born as this guy who lives like this life, dies of cancer, and then they wake up from it. Like they forget who they are. They play this game. They live this life, and whoever can get the highest score living out this guy's life the best way wins. Wow. It's like an arcade game. And I thought that was so like interesting that these writers, this sci-fi cartoon comedy, did that. I can't remember the name of it. There's memes out there about this game, but like literally the characters put on this helmet and they forget who they are. Or they think it was just a dream, and they wake up. They were born and they live this life. They get married, have kids, grow old, and die. And I always said, we could be living in some kind of simulation like that.
Yeah, it's absolute. Well, and again, just like the moon, like how everyone's like, when there's moon, and you look at the moon and you're like, oh, it's so beautiful, but it looks so fake to me. Like it always did, even when I was a kid. I'm like, how do people think this is like some organic sentient thing? Because it's not. It's a hologram projected off, the Death Star base. And I'm like, makes
Death Star, yes.
Yeah, it makes
That's what I've called it. That's what I've called it, is the Death Star. I always talk about an Art Bell interview with John. Yeah, well, because there's since the 1990s, I listened to Art Bell a lot, and he had John Lear on, and I got to ask him about this at a telephone call. He went on a rant about aliens, the moon, and the moon being a soul capacitor. It's actually a space station up there, and they are in control of our reincarnation, basically. And the moon is a big soul capacitor. The light at the end of the tunnel, don't go to it. It's the aliens, which was a scary, frightening thought to me. But I've always been fascinated. I'm, with that concept of the moon being some kind of alien base, or the fact that aliens have something to do with our reincarnation or afterlife. When you talk to abductees, they talk about seeing loved ones who passed on the ship, or they talk about finding out that they chose to be an abductee in a past life or between lives, that they have some connection to the afterlife.
Yeah, a lot of that's a lot of deception. So I always tell people, if you see that light and your grandma comes, or your dog comes, or your baby that you miscarried comes, or your ex-fiance, whoever comes, don't buy it, because these people are sold.
So you are saying don't go to the light too.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm on the same.
So that's a scary thought. That is a scary thought.
No, I actually
really.
Yeah, because here's what they don't tell you. So you're exactly the same person. Like if all the four of us, passed right now, our thoughts, our perceptions are going to be the exact same as they are embodied. We're just going to be standing next to our body. And so then you don't know what to do. So all these beings come because they want you back in the game, especially the most powerful, the most psychic, the most talented, the oldest, the wisest. They want you back in the game because we run the game. Our energy, fuels the computers. Actually, some of our consciousness, this is way out there, but some of our consciousness as kind of like the gods and goddess level was downloaded to create the game. So there's 3 to 9 computers and, different. Anyway, we're not going to go all into that. But
when you say way out there, I think we entered way out there about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. I guess any other conversation we entered.
It doesn't matter.
Long story short, so you're standing there and you don't know what to do. But what you've forgotten, and you don't immediately get your memory back either, because you're still under the Van Allen belt. You might be in the 4th dimension, but you're still under the Van Allen belt, which is a lot of the technology that represses our memory and keeps our frequency low. But I know in this mind, that I'm an infinite creator and I'm infinitely powerful. So I'm not going to forget that when I step out of the body. Now, if you don't know that, then you can be deceived by all these white light traps, grandma, Jesus, Mohammed, whoever, it doesn't matter. But what you can do is you can go wherever you want. This is what they don't want you to know. So are there heaven realms? Absolutely, there's heaven realms. Are there hell realms? Absolutely, there's hell realms. So if you believe that, because in not just in this reality, but in all time, all space, there's a basic principle. And if you can really get this down to your marrow, you will be fine the rest of your life for all eternity, which is everything you imagine is completely 100% real. So what do you do when you step out of your body? Well, I encourage my students to have a pre-planned place. Like my daughter has this island with this hut and this whole thing. You know, some people pick a mountain, some people pick a cottage, but you have a pre-planned place that you go and you kind of figure out where you want to go from there. But some people know who their soul family is. Some people, like I was cetacean before I came into the game. So I know the people on the cetacean ship, you know, and that's in the future. I know that that's where I choose to go when I leave, because I'm not coming back to the game. This is my last time around. This is the last time you guys get to hear me talk crazy. You know, I'm not coming back here. But, you know, but a lot of people do get conned back into the game and come back to the game and our memory wiped. And a lot of them repeat these kind of mirrored karmic loops because they didn't learn their lesson. So they're, you know, you don't change. It's not like the Bible script tells you. You don't immediately become emotionally whole. You don't immediately lose your trauma. No, you just come back to the game with one more life piled onto the trauma of maybe being here 38 times or 75 times or 3 times. It doesn't matter. So that's where doing your work comes in, that, you know, releasing your trauma, because it's just going to carry you to a better place, no matter what dimension you go to, what planet you go to, what you choose to do, whether you're a man or a woman. Of course, there's races that aren't men or women. You know, you can come back, you can be a tree. So all the power lies with you. And that's what every single thing in the game, every single day strips away from you. It's not just power in the afterlife, it's power now in creating your bank account, power in creating your day, power in attracting your partner. It's power in everything. They don't want you to remember who you are. They don't want you to remember, like you said, Jason, that we're all connected, that we're all one, that we all came from the same place, and we are all equally powerful. I'm no more psychic than you are. Maybe I have access to it. Maybe I've remembered it. You know, we can all do the same things, you know, at the core. And that's why they don't want us to remember. They don't want us to get together and have conversations like this. They don't want to awaken, you know, and turn on, you know, the DNA that's been turned off deliberately by the controllers.
I think that's another reason that they calcify our glands so much with all the fluoride and all that stuff that they give us on purpose to stop us from being able to connect as easy and divide us from our higher powers, right, especially right now.
Shorten our lifespans, and you know, are we just a big? Is there something behind all this that's using us like a battery? Because, you know, people make references to like the Matrix, you know, like the Matrix was trying to touch upon something that we are in a Matrix, that we are in this way more like a spiritual battery for other entities.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, for example, the fourth dimension, and I'm sure some of you guys know this too, but the discarnates, they want to be embodied again. They have their whole civilization. They have wives, they have children, they have houses. It's like a shadow reality, but they love, you know, they want to drink beer. They want to have sex. They want to taste food. They want to be in a body again. So, you know, we get jumped a lot. You know, I even occasionally get jumped. My kids get jumped more than I do, but we get jumped a lot by discarnates. And, you know, sometimes they're neutral. Sometimes they're weak. Sometimes, you know what I don't want to say any words, they get you banned, but you know how, you know what they've been giving as a solution to the problem that they created for so many
Problem
years.
reaction solution. Classic,
I'm just avoiding words, but you know what we found with our research is that that's blown holes in people's auras, and what it does is it creates a portal. And the problem is people are walking out of their bodies and being overtaken by like what people would consider the worst mass murderers, like the Jack the Rippers, the pedophiles. So that's a quantum weapon. And you can, you know, come within 1,000, you know, feet of a person who's had that solution, and that quantum weapon, if you aren't very high vibrating, you know, can blow a hole in your field. And it's just like a entrance, but it's not just an entrance for the normal discarnates that we see in people and remove or in houses. It's the worst of the worst are like resonating with this quantum weapon. So a lot of the fire creation spirits are walking out. And you wonder why people are going crazy. People are like, oh, people are crazier. People are more vicious.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like weirder. It's because the original being, what you might know as your sister, may have walked out, and you know, some like Jack the Ripper walked in, so it makes people like crazy. So my prediction is we're going to see more and more and more like the what was that thing they took off The Walking Dead, or what's that? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like that zombie thing, that zombie show that everybody loved. What was it?
The Walking Dead?
Was it called that?
Yeah.
I really think that was like predictive programming, because really people are walking out and just, you know, soulless or the worst evil, is walking in. It's crazy. It's a crazy time to be alive, really.
Last week, where was the guy cut off a mother's head in front of her children? I mean, we've seen complete crazy evil sometimes in humanity. I say we're breeding monsters half the time, but I don't know. It feels like you do see some people that, like, their souls left their body. Like, there's nothing there. No empathy, no human soul. And if they could murder you and not care,
And then a push on the mental health awareness, but overdoing it to where everybody and anybody's getting things like Xanax and those heavier drugs that basically tune you out. Kids saying, I can't even go to the grocery store without having to take this because it's too stressful.
Yeah.
And then just zoning out on like TikTok all day or this or that. Well, they're developing mindless zombies right there.
That's true too. And I encourage people to go to like a park or restaurant. Don't be too creepy, but look at all the babies. Like, look in the baby's eyes and the children's eyes. They're just not being born with souls. I mean, a lot of times they'll be walked in later, but even some of my clients who are high vibrating, really spiritual people, their babies aren't being walked into until like 2 and 3 years old. So you're left with like these, I don't know, there's just a lot of empty avatars, these days. It's really frightening because you don't know what's going to walk in to that.
I think I remember you talking about there are people that are like, what did you call them?
NPCs? Sims?
Yeah, Sims, NPCs in like a game. Yeah. But they never had a soul. They're just they're just like I don't like an NPC for people who know video games, but a fake person. I don't what do you want to call it?
Yeah,
it's like creepy, but it's true. Yeah. There seems to be a lot of kids that being born nowadays that it just doesn't seem right. Like it's a whole other species of kids being born.
Yeah,
but it's hard to talk about because these are human beings,
right?
But they're different. They're very, very intelligent in certain ways. Computers and musicians, things like that, but other things not so much.
There are some that are just born really just completely dumb. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be nice about it.
Yeah.
They're just dumb. Their education system's failing them, but they also are dumb in morals and ethics, speaking, everything. Like how they make it through life, I have no idea. I'm just saying.
One thing I always try to distinguish about that, even if a being is unsouled, it still has emotions, it still has thought process. I mean, it might not be the brightest and it might not, but I do encourage, respect of sentient life, even except NPCs because they're just computer projections. But I mean, what can you do to it? Nothing. But as far as, like, I don't know, I'm sure I talked about this. I was just talking to somebody about this today, but everybody, we watch all these horror movies, Hollywood puts out, and these murder movies on Netflix and these war movies. But for like the last 10 years, they've slaughtered millions of people in the making of these films. And nobody picks it up. I mean, these actors and stuff often have clone doubles that have no souls. And sometimes they turn their pain sensors off. But in horror movies, they want them to scream. They want them to suffer. So there's atrocity after atrocity that most people aren't even aware, that's happening. It doesn't matter if, something has a soul or not. Does it make it right to murder a clone that has thought and emotion just like you? Just because it's what we call one and done? Is that, I mean, we need to start bringing up like some serious ethics because this has been happening for like 10 years and nobody, Hollywood.
You're saying for the last 10 years, Hollywood movies are using clones instead of special effects. I would think special effects would be a lot cheaper than growing a clone to murder in a film.
It's not. Like I said, my family does human cloning and they have it so down, so perfected. They just do it and Westworld will show you, they do it like dolls, on racks. Like they just do them by the millions now. I mean, it's so perfected.
You said your family does?
My family gets a paycheck from transfer of human consciousness, and they actually clone humans. Like they work in the labs that clone humans. So that's how I know a lot about those subjects, and what they're used
I told you people
for.
are going deep down the rabbit hole tonight. Yeah, I've fascinated. Like you said, sometimes you think Hollywood shows you the beyond the veil in fiction, like was it The Sixth Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that premise of that movie is what you're talking about. Is that like in that movie, a football player breaks his neck on the field, and they take him. They were getting the ambulance. They get him there. That he's dead. And they already say, "Oh, he's fine. It was just a little bit of an injury," and they got a clone ready to go because he's a multi-million-dollar investment for sports sponsors and stuff like that.
That's exactly how it is. As a matter of fact, after college and including college, 100% of all sports are rigged, and all major sports figures are bio-enhanced with cybernetic chips and body parts. So they're usually a mix of robot, human avatar. They are lab enhanced, and all outcomes are planned ahead. All teams, I know the New York Yankees for 100% fact. Kathy O'Brien talks about this, but when they win a game, they have women and men and children line up, and they get to pick who they fuck.
Oh, watch the language. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll get a thing for that. But
it's all right.
They get to pick who they sleep with. And like I said, women, men, and children. So these are your sports heroes. These are who are held up for us to adore and worship. These are who we pay. They're sick MFers. They really are. They're all part of the game. I mean, they're slaves. They're abused, but they're also abusers.
And now the information like this that you're getting, is this stuff that you have as a knowing, or is it from, because you talk about remote viewing and your ability to do that. Do you get a lot of this information from remote viewing?
No, this is,
No.
I'm from a double reptilian bloodline family. I'm from a cabal family. Sorry, my dogs are going nuts. And
You said the reptilian word.
Please. And they're like reacting to this. But so I also was engaged to someone who works for Homeland Security and is one of the top bloodline families in the United States. So head of the Order of Golden Dawn, like I know a lot of this direct information from people that I've been involved with.
And do you ever, I know you talk about your power and your ability and everybody's ability, but at some sense, if you come out and you talk about this, do you feel like you're ever in danger?
Oh, please. Yes. Yeah. They just did an operation on me a couple weeks ago where they tried to get me to go to an airport to help a friend of mine. And it was a total 3-letter agency setup. I had to make some calls to kind of see what was going on. So operationally, they tried to pick me up in the daytime. 3 weeks ago, at 3:30 in the morning, which is, of course, the time, but I woke to the sound of a helicopter, and it was just hovering over my house like for a half hour.
Had that experience.
Yeah, it usually happens after shows like this. I get, picked up.
Mine happened after talking to my friend who's an alien abductee.
Yeah, they don't like any of this. They're getting ready though to release a lot of this information, and that's why I always say people can call me whatever they want, because unlike a lot of people's shows, I always say my shows are going to age extremely well. Like 5 years from now, they're going to be like, I won't even sound crazy. They're going to be like, yeah, we all know that. Like, don't play those old shows. Like, we all know that. Like, my favorite prediction is the Star Wars bar. Within 5 years, you will be sitting with what you call aliens, different avatars. You will be sitting and seeing them in open society. They're getting ready to release secret space records. They're getting ready to release the super soldier, and aliens.
We talk about this whole disclosure thing happening, and I always say it's hard for me to believe that they actually are going to disclose things, because it sounds like it's all so complicated. How do you disclose any of it? How do you, then that's what people's points of like Spielberg and Lucas and, them being influenced by the government and showing us things in movies is that desensitize us and get us ready. I don't think we're there yet.
They have no choice. It's just becoming, people are, and I even encourage you guys to do this. Like, I encourage you to look at your body really well, like in the shower before you go to bed. And then look at your body really well when you wake up. Like I have, I wake up all the time with, what I call reverse bruises from hands like this, not like, anything I could do myself, but like being grabbed. I wake up, and you guys do too. You just don't look.
Oh, no, I've had this experience. I've had some experiences. Yes.
like needle marks, pin pricks, bumps. People wake up with bumps on their head. Sometimes
I woke up with. I talked about this on the show when I was really young. I woke up with a perfectly round circle on my face, like somebody took a cigarette and burned me on my face.
Yeah, a lot of
it was
times.
a perfect circle. Yeah. I woke up not long ago, where I woke up with I had a white shirt I went to bed with, and I didn't have a bloody nose. I checked my nose, but I was spraying blood I had all these speckles of blood all around my shirt.
Wow. And it could have been somebody else's blood too, because you could be, well, you are. I mean, you're running missions and stuff at night, so who knows what you were involved in,
You're not the first one that said that to me. Okay, and I had my early 20s, these crazy dreams, and I sum it up to my active imagination, my thoroughly reading action sci-fi novels and all that. That's how I summed it up. But I would have these dreams where I was taken by aliens and go on these missions. I'm not joking. I did have those dreams when I was in my early 20s, and so did my cousin Phil. We'd talk about it, man, it's weird. We compared some of notes, and we're like, that's really similar to my dream. And and they talk about that. I don't know what to believe on that, but it is weird that you say that. It is weird.
Well, what I say, what I teach is most of your dreams are either your memories or your clone memories. So, and then there's the layer of fake memories that they give you to block what you were really doing. So, when you kind of have, dreams, a lot of people, in it that are sweet and innocent, a lot of times that's a cover memory that they put over. You can almost guess if you have a great dream. You're like, oh, I was taken last night. You can automatically.
Yeah, my wife hates these conversations about me maybe being taken because it scares the crap out of her. This is a question from James. What does Dr. Kimberly think of huge owl encounters? Is that abduction related? Oh, buddy.
Yeah, a lot of times the Greys will, and you obviously know this since you're saying this, will use the owl as a cover, which is really stupid because we all know they use, well, I do, they use owls as kind of a cover. Another thing about the Greys that I think is really misrepresented in my experience with the Greys is they're really considered the taxi cab drivers of the multiverse. So if the Greys are not an end to themselves, they are paid to torture people. They are paid to harvest. They're paid to do stuff. But you're hearing the paid. The Greys are the bottom of the barrel.
I had one guest recently compare them to having an Apple iPhone for the Galaxy, that their tools used, like cybernetic even.
They are. They'll take money for about anything. But a lot of times when you're abducted, you will be picked up by the Greys because it's like being picked up by an Uber. You need to look at the Greys. I would rather be picked up by the Greys than Dark Fleet, than the military, than Three Letter, than almost any, than the Dracos. Come get me, please, Greys, because number one, and a lot of the, is it one of the ranches one of the guys that owns one of those weird ranches talks about this.
Skinwalker Ranch, Utah.
How he cut off the heads of the Greys. You can really do some damage pretty easily to a Grey because they're weak and cybernetic. Even a woman, even a child, if you keep a sword, a knife, whatever, you can even strangle their little heads and pop them off. I mean, they're pretty easy to do it. But a lot of people have talked about putting, the bodies, doing this and putting bodies in their freezer. Of course, the bodies disappear before they can, funny how that happens. But, I believe them. I believe the three-letter agencies or the military comes, drugs them, mind wipes them, and takes the bodies. But I think all that's going to be exposed. I think we're really on the verge. They've been barreling us with Star Trek, barreling us with Stargate, barreling us with, Star Wars for years and years and years. 40, 50, 60, I don't even know how many years. They're getting ready to bring this to a culmination. Now, a lot of the paranoid conspiracy people would be like, oh, Project Bluebeam. I don't believe that. I believe they're just going to, I honestly believe we have such a adaptable, and they use so much technology on our minds that it'll seem so normal when they do it. I don't think it's going to be shocking. I don't think it's going to be an alien invasion. I think it's going to be, a slow introduction to where, you're.
How does this change the game, though? If they're the one, if this is a game, a simulation that we're in, is this a certain stage that we have to move into?
They're upgrading the game, just like they upgrade really, really popular games, can stay around for 20 years.
Or and DLC.
They go 4.55. So I believe we're going from third density. We're already in about 3.5 from what I can observe. I think we're going into a more of a fourth dimension, a higher frequency. So in a new game, you're allowed to have alien friends. It doesn't mean all the bad stuff stops, but they're kind of introducing a new wrinkle. Aliens aren't bad. They can be interesting, and you can have, and they've shown us in some of the sci-fi too, where people
I've said this.
Yeah. Okay.
The Spielberg with E.T. I mean, look how he changed. With E.T. and Close Encounters, they're all friendly, and they take Richard Dreyfuss up into space, and E.T. is like, makes friends with Drew Barrymore, and if you look at the before that 60s and 50s, the aliens came and invade, War of the Worlds, we're all gonna die, scream and run.
That's a really good point. And I think
it changed the game.
And even the Sasquatch phenomena, which I'm well acquainted with, of course.
Right, we talked about that last time you were on the show. You had photos.
They're also preparing, I think, to introduce a lot of the what I call the interdimensionals. I think they're preparing to bring forth the existence of the Fae and the fairies. I think they're preparing to bring forth the existence of the dogmen and the little people, or what we call little people in North Carolina. The Sasquatch. I think they're upgrading, bringing new characters into the game that have always been there, but now they're allowing us in the game upgrade, they're bringing some variety, because who wants to be here? Nobody wants to be here anymore. They need to keep the game popular. They need to keep, people here to harvest your battery theory, and they want people to keep paying to play this, because this is definitely a lot of people are paying to play this. They're going into immersion pods on their ships. They're transferring their consciousness down into an avatar that they have waiting for them, and they're paying, equivalent of billions of dollars to do it. So, we know 100% this is a game, because,
this could be just us. You right now, you could be in Fuddruckers in center of the galaxy, playing the life of whatever. It was the life of, I can't remember the name from Rick and Morty, but I keep thinking of that when you talk about that, because when I saw that, me and my son saw that episode, and I said, that's kind of insightful what life might be really like. We got to go to commercial break, and then we're going to open up the phone lines when we come back. What do you do, like an energy reading for somebody if they call in if they want it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any stipulations for the audience?
I have a question for her too. I have a question for her too.
All right. When we come back, we'll start with your question, Jamie. And we'll open up the phone lines and see who calls in. All right, guys, we're going to go to commercial break, come back. That's not, don't want the commercial break yet. Hitting the wrong buttons already. When we come back, we'll open up the phone lines. Jamie's got a great, I'm sure, a really good question for Dr. Kimberly. And I told you she's a very soupy guest. We're going to get into a lot of different topics tonight. But if you got a question for her, or you want to have like a mini energy reading from her, call in after this commercial break.
Into the combined effects of sensory deprivation and hallucinatory drugs. The subject of the experiment is himself, and the experiment is out of control. Ken Russell's Altered States, a film that must not be missed, is in the West End now. Altered States, Certificate X.
Do you wish for more paranormal and spiritual content? The Paranormal Chronicles magazine is a free digital magazine crammed with the very best in paranormal and spiritual articles and features. No sign-up, no subscription, just free reading and knowledge for you. Read today at www.paranormalchronicles.com/magazine.
Oh, come on. I'm Southern, but... nope. That'll do. Hello,
I am Kat Hobson, host of Paranormal Experience here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. I enjoy having guests from all areas of the paranormal, from ghosts to ufology to cryptids and beyond. You'll find some of the best researchers in their fields bringing you some great information. Join me on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10 p. Eastern here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday at the live stream with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Paranation Magazine is a new paranormal magazine based out of Denver, Colorado. Our goal isn't just to give you the best paranormal content out there, but to promote paranormal unity. We're doing this by giving everyone an opportunity to tell their stories and to share their experiences. For more information, follow us on Facebook at Paranation Magazine and soon, paranationmag.com.
I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is the extraordinary travels of a young, alone, and broke psychic in the highly anticipated new book from internationally renowned psychic, medium, medical intuitive, and best-selling author Sherry Dillard. Critics have described I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like as an engrossing memoir, an empowering story of how a broken girl came to accept her psychic gift, a refreshing and fun read. I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is available through Amazon, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, and wherever books are sold.
Edgar Allan Poe wrote Spirits of the Dead with a pen dipped in warm blood. You will see the ultimate in terror with this important all-star cast. Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda in Edgar Allan Poe's Spirits of the Dead. Only Poe's demented genius could bring to the screen such horror and evil. Spirits of the Dead stars Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda. Directed by three masters of the cinema, Federico Fellini, Louis Malle, and Roger Vadim. Spirits of the Dead is an adventure in terror beyond your wildest nightmares. Spirits of the Dead in color is rated R.
This city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportion.
What do you mean, biblical?
What he means is Old Testament, Mr. Mayor. Real wrath of God type stuff.
Exactly.
Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes.
The dead rising from the grave. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria.
You're listening to Paranormal Soup, bringing you the weird every Sunday night. Call into the show and join the discussion. The call-in lines are 219-230-4444 or 260-225-9419 or by Skype caller ID OOJBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup. And now to your host, Jason Bland.
Tonight's guest is Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. She's an internationally renowned naturopathic doctor, energy healer, remote viewer, paranormal expert, and consciousness teacher. Like I said, she's a very soupy guest. We get down a lot of different rabbit holes and topics. I know a lot of you people are like, Whoa. The amount of information she's giving you tonight. Keep an open mind. I do. I might not agree with everything she says, but I listen because, everybody's got different perspectives and knowledge about what's going on. I love hearing this stuff. It gets way down into the recesses of conspiracy theories and all that. But this is not for her a conspiracy theories. This is what she's been experiencing in everyday life and is a part of. She says she has inside sources that give her this information. She also can remote view, but we're also going to open up your phone lines. Maybe she can do an energy healing for you tonight or give you a reading. We'll make it short, generally probably 5 or 10 minutes per call, but you definitely can call in. Let me make sure I open up the phone lines for everybody tonight. And call in and see if Dr. Kimberly can do a reading for you, or if you have a question too. I know probably after this last hour, probably a lot of people have a lot of questions, and just be respectful. Have an open mind when you call in. I have guests that have all types of different experiences and opinions and different knowledge sources, and we don't judge. We listen. That's what we do. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get back to our guest. All right, let me make sure I have the phone lines are open. You can call in, people. We will take your calls, but Jamie has a question. I want to get to Jamie's question.
Hi. Well, I had a couple experiences that started at an early age that kind of brought me on my paranormal journey. One of the big parts of it, besides the paranormal apparition side, was the feeling of some sort of extraterrestrial side. When I was about 4 or 5, one of the elements were these shadows, these 3 shadows that would always be on my wall that had kind of a cape-like triangle neckline that went down to like a cape. There'd just be 3. And my parents knew I wasn't a storyteller. They would see me because I would have to kiss all my shadows goodnight at night. And they'd see me kiss these 3, and they're like, what are those 3 spots that you're kissing? And I said, the 3 shadow men. And they said, we don't see anything there. And so they would help me, try to do different things with the light. Do you still see it? Da, 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 da. I always still saw them. They never did. But they always watched me kiss these 3 shadows. I was never scared by them. I would sleep at night and they would, just watch me. Well, besides that, I'm 45. I was a kid, born 77. When I was 5, I wasn't exposed to a whole lot of things like CCTV monitors, things like that, having a bunch of monitors, or really too many extraterrestrial type things. But I always felt like I was being watched. And I kind of wonder what I may have been communicating with back then. I always felt like I was on a reality show for like somebody else, that some other people were watching us on these many, many monitors. And what we were doing was like their entertainment. And so I'd be on my little, green machine back there, like waving up. I would stop and actually wave at the sky and wave to them. And I would remember kind of communicating with them with my mind, and that stopped after a couple of years. But my work went more paranormal after that, trying to figure some other things out in communication. But I always thought it kind of went together, and who I could have been communicating with, or if that could have been the same thing that the shadows were.
Yeah. So I just ran you through my quantum technology, which is just reading, it's not me reading anything. It's just reading what's in your field. And to me, it looks like you are involved, definitely, probably because your abilities, but you have one of the highest frequencies in the multiverse. So you came in at you're an old soul, and you came in as an ancient galactic being, whether you remember it or not. I think you do remember it, kind of, by how you're talking. But you have a really, really high frequency. So by default, you're almost automatically at least going to be involved with the secret space program. But I actually think you are. You also have a super soldier frequency. So you're heavily involved with the corporations, the programs. And now I'm using my abilities, but what it looks like happened is usually they take you around 3 or 4 and they take you to Langley and they hardcore, we call it hardcore MK Ultra, because you have a Monarch signature, which all kids who are super soldiers have a Monarch signature because that's the first corporation you come in contact with, and they split you into altars while letting you retain some of your abilities in the daytime. So that's also almost all super soldiers that I know have active, like you do, active psychic gifts or abilities that they're using in some way in the daytime. They're not buried. They've always kind of had them. They've always kind of used them. But they use technology and they take you to Langley. Langley's not the farm. Langley's actually a torture site, MK Ultra torture site, and a whole bunch of other things. It's not what they tell you it is. And then they return you like a second later because they're using advanced technology. So they're using time. All the CERNs are also portal and time technology. And there's many CERNs. There's not just one. But it's similar technology to that. So then they brought you back and you were split. And then you look to me also, I don't know for sure, but to me you also have the signature of like 20, 40, 60, 80 and back, which really messes you up. And also it's interesting because I don't know if you know this, but my doorway to all this stuff was also the paranormal. So in my search for answers, I went through the paranormal door first. That's where I started as well, seeing similar things. I've actually seen those beings you're talking about myself. The three shadow beings. So it was weird, bone chilling as you started describing that. I saw them older than you did. I didn't see them as a child. I saw them as an adult when I was starting to get a lot of my memory back of being abducted and things. So, those beings I think are, I don't really want to go way into it because it's not all positive.
Yeah, and I don't want to take from callers in case there's callers calling in right now.
You're highly involved in the program. 20, 40, 60, 80 and back as you go and live completely whole lives in this body that you're in. And then they bring you back and they age regress you. And it really makes you feel like super crazy because you're like 5, 7, 9, 12, but you're like ancient, like you've been married and and they can't fully, you don't carry any memories in your brain. You carry no memories in your brain. They lie to you about that. You carry all memory in your energy field. So even if they use technology to block you from your memories, which is how the mind wiping technology works, you still carry it. So there's like this weird knowing that something's really messed up. And I think when I tap you, I think you have a lot of those like weird experience, angsty, unknown, kind of tormented soul, type of vibe. And I think a lot of it could be explained by understanding what's been done to you at certain ages. I think it would give you kind of like relief. You wouldn't feel so different, so crazy. So, you are different and unique and special, but it's actually a positive, not a negative, where I think under your life, you've lived kind of under the negative shadow of that, like I have, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. Thank you.
Yeah, me and Jamie have compared notes a little bit too, because I had my shadow person experience as a teenager, which one shadow with the at one point appeared to me middle of the night outside while I was smoking a cigarette when I should have been, and I saw the thing, not dreaming at all, walk right up to me, and it had this is back in the 90s, and I just started to hear this. This is what got me really sucked into Arbel, because I heard people describe this in Arbel. I'm like, I've seen that. It was the Hat Man. The way it took like kind of a perch to its head, and it didn't always appear like that. Dang it! Say people are calling in, but it's not picking up. Sorry, I'm trying to. Let's see if I can call somebody back. I'm gonna. No, can't. Oh, it says a different number when I go to hit it.
It's weird.
Yeah, line calling. If you call in and it hangs up on you, I'm gonna try to call you back. I guess that's what I got to do because it's being weird. Let's see. I'm going to see if this is working really quick, because I don't have weird issues with the phone line. Who do we got on the line? Did you try to call in? You there?
Hey, Jason, it's Zach. How you doing, brother?
Oh, hey, Zach. Yeah. Doing good, man. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, my Skype is acting funny, so I decided to call on the phone line tonight.
All right, cool. Because I don't know what's going on with the phone lines. I go to pick it up and it hangs up on people right away. I don't know what's going on with that number, that 219-230-4444. Skype, if it's giving you issues, that is the way to call in. But people, you can try Skype, J Bland or J Bland Paranormal Soup. All right, Zach, what's your question for our guest tonight, or did you want kind of like a mini reading from her?
May I have a mini reading over from Dr. Kim?
Okay. You have to ask me a specific question. I'm a very, very specific psychic, or I can just randomly tell public random things about you, which I don't recommend.
True.
Jason's
I could do
a little of that.
I was looking more for like an energy reading. If you can give me one of those.
Oh, what reading? I missed the
like
word.
an energy, like your health.
Oh, an energy.
Kind of?
I'll just tell you, looking at you really quick. You are highly intuitive. However, you're not super actively using it or standing behind yourself because I don't know why. I mean, there's probably a million reasons why. You're connected with your oversoul. You're connected with y'all. That's good. There's what I call personal power issues. So one of the reasons you may not be using your psychic abilities is your third chakra is super closed and weak. So you don't like back yourself. So if you want to develop your psychic abilities, I'd recommend that you just start speaking whatever you know, whatever you hear, whatever you see, and just trusting yourself that it's true, because you do have really high level psychic abilities. Trying to think what you want to know, because I can tell you a million things about yourself that you never wanted to know. Let me see what your soul brings up really quick as priority for you. Give me a second. I'm running you through my tech. But I mean, I can answer specific questions too if you have a specific question.
I guess really because I'm looking to make a transition really over into my life on that, and I just need to know, like, 'cause I need to know if, like, I myself would be prepared for something like that. I mean, I can tell myself one thing, but then
Right. That's what I meant about backing yourself. So first of all, you have a lot of what we call, or what I call, I should say this way, timeline enemies. So I don't think you're kind of aware of all the negative pressures. Like, I think you blame yourself for certain decisions and where you've ended up in your life, positive or negative. Mostly negative, of course, but really you have some forces that are working against you that I would want to clear before I recommended like I don't know, any kind of switch or life change, because you definitely have enemies that are keeping you kind of at a certain level, and they're fairly powerful, and they've been with you a long time, and a lot of it's what some people call karma. I don't believe in karma. I believe in mirrored reality. So the rules of the game is what we put out, we get back. And not all of your past lives were super amazing. So you chose to play dark roles in some of your past lives. So in the mirrored reality, you create enemies, obviously, when you're not the sweetest, nicest, kindest person in a life. And so you've created some enemies that have followed you into this life, and that is some of your problems. So it's not you. If you've ever felt like something outside you is holding you back, you actually have a lot of energies that are holding you back. I also see that you're definitely being taken, and you should look for body signs, because you have body signs every couple nights that you could see for yourself if you haven't noticed that already. I can keep going with other random things if you want. You have any
How's it doing for you so far, Zach? You still there, Zach?
Whew. Yeah, I'm still there. I'm just taking it all in. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I know about one past life already about that, but I'm like, geez, what else did I do in my other past life that are still following me here? I mean, Dr. Kim on another show and all that, I remember describing a dream that I had with another guest that Jason had on the show, and eventually she connected it to where I was involved in organized crime and all that, during the Prohibition era. And Jason actually brought up a story about a video that he had shot when he was in high school. That was exactly just like the dream I had.
It was
So
his
I'm
death
like,
scene.
oh my goodness.
I made a very David Lynch short film, and it was basically when he described his death scene. I'm like, that's like the whole premise of the film revolves around that death scene. Like, that's weird.
Wow. I'm just gonna do a brief. I'm just gonna do it without asking.
Yeah, we got the phone lines are blowing up right now. Just so
I know, but I
so,
have to help. I want to help him, so I'm going to bring some things into
Yeah.
his field that aren't into his field.
Go for it.
So we're going to bring in the belief that you're worthy of all you desire. We're going to bring in the belief that you deserve radical self-nurturing. We're going to bring in the belief that you're free and open and allowed to love deeply. We're going to release and overcome any childhood trauma that's ready to go out of your field. We're just going to release that right now. In 3, in 2, and 1. I'm going to set that on a 24/7 program, so it will continue releasing. And definitely bring forgiveness into your field, because even though this you might not feel you need forgiveness, the you that remembers other lives definitely feels like you need forgiveness. So that's missing from your field. We're going to bring in the frequency of forgiveness. So there you go.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Kim, for the reading. Love hearing everything that you're saying, and it's so good to see you again. Jason, Jamie, Rob, everybody, have a good night, all right?
You too, Zach. All right, so let me see. While he was on, I had like several different people trying to call in on that same line. Let me see. This one was calling, I think the first one it called I missed. Let me see if I can call them back. It keeps giving me this different number to call, but when I call, it is calling them. Okay. Let me see if I can get this one. Maybe. Called Zach back. Sometimes it doesn't call people back. We'll see. Hi, you're on the air with Paranormal Soup. Who do we got?
Hi, it's Janice.
Hey, Janice. Thanks for calling in.
Hi. Very nice to meet you, Doctor. I caught the show last time, and I wasn't able to call in for any feedback from you, but I wondered if I could get a short energy reading.
Sure. Do you have any specific questions?
Well, I wondered if it's just me, or are things slowing down for everybody in general?
Like time slowing?
Time slowing, but also energy slowing. More pull on energy, but it's like almost going into retirement or slowing down along that line, not necessarily retirement.
Well, it's complicated. This is a very astute observation. One of the things that's happening right now is there's a specific ET group that is using a technology over the general population. And what it does is it actually, I call it reversing your timelines. So it's the beautiful, I'm being sarcastic, experience of taking like 5 steps forward and 6 steps back, which is kind of frustrating. It creates a lot of churn in your life. So you think you're making progress with your finances or debt, but you're not. You think you're making progress with your job, but you're not. You think you're making progress in your relationships, but you're not. But there's a very specific group that keeps reversing, like kind of making us, well, and of course there's other people making us live the same days again too. But there's some really weird stuff going on, messing specifically with time. So that's actually a very, very astute observation, because there is some super weird stuff going on right now with that.
Okay. And now with regard to energy healing, am I going to get back into seeing clients? Or is this more a time where I just take care of myself? What are your thoughts?
Okay, so you cut out on the first thing. I heard the second part was, is this the time I take care of myself? What was your first thing that you said?
Will I go back to seeing clients? Or is it more a time for self-care?
Let me look at you really quick. How do you feel? I feel like you've struggled with, gosh, I hate outing this. More like anxiety, possibly than depression sometimes, or I think I'd really strongly recommend, if you're not taking GABA, Your body's kind of screaming for GABA. You might want to read or research up on that or take that if you're not taking it, because I think it could really help you. Are you going to go back to, of course, I teach complete free will. I teach complete creation. So that's your choice. Looking at your timelines, I don't think you're going to go back to seeing clients for a while. I think you wouldn't even be asking me this question because you're highly tapped in, you're highly intuitive. I think you know that it's a time for self-care. I think it looks to me like you're recalibrating into a higher frequency, possibly with some new additional abilities, or you are studying something or thinking about studying something new. So I encourage all of that. You also have a lot of dark technology that's being used against you to keep you from reaching out and seeing clients. So definitely that's something I would want to overcome. But I do think it's a time for radical self-care and self-nurture. I think you're exhausted on some level. I don't know if that's physically, spiritually, emotionally. I think you've been carrying the load, not just of your clients, but of a lot of other people in your life. And I think it's time to kind of put down that savior thing that you've had kind of your whole life, and a lot of healers have, and save yourself and love yourself and spoil yourself. Oh, wow.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I love your babies in the background there, keeping you company.
Oh, thank you. They keep me sane. Thank you.
Take care, you guys, Jamie, Rob, and Jason.
Thank you, Janice. You have a great night.
Good night, all.
Bye.
Good night.
I got a lot more people still trying to call in. I'm going to try to get the other ones. That was that one. I'm trying to not make sure I don't call back the same numbers. I got that one. It's trying to keep track. I know I saw Dan, you called in. I definitely want my friend Dan to get through, but I know other people called in. I don't know. I might end up accidentally calling him. I'll call in the next one I'm trying to get through here. Let me turn that down a second. See. Oh, nope. I got somebody else. Let's try this one. They're coming through now. All right. Let's see. We got somebody on the line. Who do we got?
Hi, my name's Marie. I'm from Oregon.
Hi, Marie.
From the Facebook page. Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for calling. Make sure you turn us off in the background if you got us on, because it's gonna echo.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
All right. We're muted.
All
right. Yay. Okay, so thank you so much for the lovely guest you have. I was reading the overview, and I wanted to know a little bit about frequency masters. And if you have an idea of what kind of frequency would be good for me to, I listen to a lot of stuff on YouTube as I go to sleep and as I meditate. And I was just wondering if you might see something that would be good for me at this point.
Sure. Anything, I'm gonna give you some things to type into YouTube. I'm gonna give you some numbers. So anything in the 285 hertz range, HZ,
Okay.
417 hertz, 528 hertz, 396 hertz, or 741 hertz is going to be really highly beneficial to you right now.
Okay. Okay. And the YouTube's taking a while to load up, but yeah. I'm so sorry I was not fast enough to pull up YouTube while you were telling me all that.
Do you want me to? I can say it again. 285 hertz.
Yeah.
417.
I'm
hertz.
doing it now.
Okay.
Okay.
417 hertz, 528
Yep.
hertz, 396 hertz, and 741 hertz. So if you type those in, you'll find, meditations and music and frequencies for all of those. Those are going to be highly beneficial to you.
All right. All right. And can you explain what your frequency masters are?
Yeah, so the Frequency Master program is basically my practitioners. So the quantum technology I'm using tonight, absolutely anybody can purchase and build out to their specification. So if you were a tarot reader, you could buy this and have the base programs, but then you could build it out for your tarot readings. Or if you were an astrologer, you could buy this, have the base program, then you can build it out for astrology. So that's my practitioner program where I teach you how to use the technology and how to use it to benefit, whether you want to use it for your pets or your home and family, or you're a naturopathic doctor, or, whatever you want to use it for. That's what we do with that.
Right. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much for giving me some of your time, and I will go ahead and look these up for my evening time, and definitely take a look at those.
Thank you. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marie.
Okay. Yeah. Bye.
Sweet.
All right. Let's see here. Trying to figure out what numbers I see. I'm not sure if what number I was trying to call back this number. I hope it's not the same person because sometimes I don't pop up a name. Nope, there's my friend Dan. I'll just take that. We're calling in before I can try to call somebody back. I got Dan on the line. How you doing tonight, Dan?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, man. Good to hear you.
Hello, Dr. Kimberly. How are you?
Hi.
Hello. Yeah, I was wondering if I could just get just a basic reading to start off with.
Sure. Give me a minute. How to get you in. I love dead air on live. I started off in radio, and it's like, no, I have to hurry.
I
have
know.
to hurry.
No, Dad, hurry.
I'm like, no, they're gonna fire me. One of the things, Dan, I don't know. Do you do a lot of like paranormal, esoteric, weird stuff because you're not very grounded and you're not in your body? You're like coming out of your body. So really, someone like you, I'd recommend not wearing shoes some of the time, inside and outside. You really need to like ground yourself. And you've got to be doing something weird because you have a lot of darker beings around you. So I don't know if you explore the paranormal. I don't know what you do, but I feel like you're messing in things that kind of like have like portal openings, and you don't always close down what you've been doing, or maybe you're not aware that you're leaving things open. And so you're kind of getting some darker friends hanging out with you. Um, yeah, you look good with courting and entity and attachments, but I would be more worried about, like, I'd rather have courting and entities and attachments than the beings that I see in your vicinity, I guess. So I'm a little curious about that. Are you aware? Are you aware of that?
I mean, I've had a lot of paranormal experiences all through my life, but
Okay.
and yeah, I have been doing some meditation, and like I say, I had an event, and it's triggered something where I'm getting more, I don't know, seeing a little more stuff, and I've been seeing these gold beings a lot.
You also have quite a repressed and active past life, which creates a lot of trauma in your field. And a lot of this trauma in your field may be resonating with some of those beings. So I don't see a lot of timeline enemies for you, but I do see a lot of accumulated trauma from past lives in your field that you haven't released. Do you have any issues with I don't know, or any gosh, I keep getting like sinuses and stuff like that. Do you have any sinus, like nose, throat, or anything going on right now? No?
No, not right now, no.
You may in the future. Yeah, there's just a lot. I'm trying to think of what to say on the air. So one of the things that's being happened to you right now is you're being consciousness transferred a lot. So our soul's infinite, and they can part out infinitely our soul. And so you're being conscious. You have a lot of clones, is what I'm trying to say. Let's be blunt. So you're being conscious transferred into a lot of clones, and so your clones and what they're using them for and what they're doing, they're connected to us. So we are completely 100% our clones, whether you remember or not. And they're all connected to you. It's just your point of attention is on this body, which could be a clone body. I haven't looked. Or it could be your original body, but it doesn't matter because your point of attention is on this body. But a lot of like your days, like your mood, your physical things that happen to you, again, it's because you have a lot of clones. So you're being used a lot for consciousness transfer. You're being parted out. And used for a lot of, it looks like 3-letter operations to me. So kind of like that show Alias, kind of like that kind of stuff you're being used for.
Huh. Used for parts, huh?
You're being used for operations. So, assassination. You're being blown up. You're stealing things. State secrets. Basically all the espionage stuff that the three-letter agencies. A lot of your clones do a lot of that stuff. It doesn't always end well. So I would imagine you wake up some mornings not feeling very good because it often looks like it doesn't end well for your clones because they don't care. I mean, they just throw you away, which is what they do in the agencies anyway. There's only one way out of a three-letter agency. Everybody knows it's in a body bag. So
It's a lot for you to take in there, Captain. Okay, that's
Yeah,
his
that's
Captain
a lot,
Damage is his gamer tag. We know each other from the game. It's like called Captain. Sounds like you're causing a lot of damage out there, man.
Yeah, I guess. Man.
All right, bud. Do you have any other questions for her?
Yeah, I just mostly, I was wondering about these beings that, I don't know, they seem positive. I mean, do you feel that they are, or am I being deceived by them, or?
Do you want to describe what you're seeing, Dan?
that'd be good.
They're just really bright gold, but they look like ETs, but also they have human qualities like, 5 digits and emotive faces. They have the big eyes.
Where and when are you seeing
And they're
these?
little hazy blue.
Okay.
Usually during a meditative state, they'll kind of take over that, I guess you could say.
Yeah, to me that looks like possibly soul family. I don't think those are not the beings that I'm seeing that are negative. So I don't think those beings are. I think that's your soul family or a race that you've previously been reaching out and making a connection with you. I don't think those beings are negative. Those particular beings, but there are darker beings that are around you that are more, I would consider more negative. I mean, for all I know, it could just be military remote viewers. It depends, since you're so heavily cloned, they usually like to keep an eye on their property. So it could just be military. It might not be anything horrible. I'd have to look closer to see.
You're like Jango Fett in Star Wars, Dan.
Yeah.
Bunch of Captain Damages going around.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have what's called what we call satanic quantum alchemy present. So there's a lot going on with you that probably I would want to look closer at. I think that's hooking into some of the darkness that I'm seeing around you. You're also doing what we call blipping. So you're not settling on your optimal timeline. You're jumping between a bunch of timelines. So your life, I wouldn't think is like superbly amazing because you're not on your, what we call your hot or ideal timeline. You're kind of jumping, or somebody's making you jump timelines. You're also living, this is really interesting actually. You're also living your ancestral timeline. So someone so you were one of your ancestors. It looks like four or five, which it usually is 4 or 5 generations back. And you're actually repeating their timeline. So whatever happened, kind of negative and positive, you're following that same pattern. Again, we usually do that when we don't grow from that life. We usually, we're kind of doomed to repeat it until we grow past that frequency. So that's really interesting because I would want to know. I would have to see which side or whatever it was on. But you're definitely one of your ancestors 4 or 5 generations back, 100%. Same exact being, same exact soul.
What was that you were talking about before? A satanic.
Satanic quantum alchemy. Yeah. So you're involved. You're just involved with some bad stuff. Possibly not in the daytime, obviously, but you're involved. Yeah. You're kind of roped in with the cabal frequency, the Dracos, the corporations. not so much military, but more like the 3-letter agencies. You're kind of involved with some weird stuff.
Not knowingly,
I
unconsciously.
also
right?
think he has reptilian bloodline too, so that makes sense.
She didn't
At
hold
least-
back. Maybe she probably is holding back some, but
I'm sure
she
I'm
let you
holding
know.
back. Yeah, I am holding back. Yeah, but again, working out a lot of lessons that you haven't learned. So you're one of the people I would encourage you to kind of figure out, how to break certain patterns that aren't positive in your life for sure. Because there's a lot of, mirrored soul karma that you're working out in this life.
All right, Dan.
Okay.
Well, that's about 10 minutes worth of
Oh, sorry.
a lot
Yeah.
of information there for you, bud.
Yeah, that's a lot to dig in. Thank you, Dr. Kimberly.
Oh, no problem.
And thank you, Jason and crew. And I'll
Have a good night and sleep well with that.
see you next time.
Well, happily after that.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great night, Dan.
All right. See you.
All right. Let's see. There was a question in the chat room a little while ago from James, and I know he said he was trying to call in and he thought he's getting blocked. You're not getting blocked, James. It's just I have chintzy phone lines, and I don't know which one you were, and I'm losing track of who I haven't called back. Called you. You called. I don't think I called this person back. I'm gonna try them. Trying to get everybody. If it hangs up on you, I'm just trying to call you back. If that's what I'm gonna do. See if we get anybody. And then I got another. I'm trying to call somebody, and then somebody else is trying to call in. 595. All right. Let's see if I pick up this one. Picks up. Doesn't pick up. I'll try calling the other one back. Okay. All right. Who do we got on the line?
Hi, Linda from LaPorte.
Hey, Linda.
Hey.
Next door neighbor. Town-wise.
Yeah.
Town-wise.
I know. Hi, Dr. Kimberly.
Hi.
I have a question. I've had experiences ever since I was little where little beings would come and take me out of my room and into the wall vents, and I'm 57 now, so those kind of things have occurred continuously through my whole life. And I just kind of accepted it. I must have had some kind of soul contract, that I'm like, yeah, sure, do this, go ahead, But now I'm listening to you today talk about all this cloning stuff. And so I was wondering what you see with me. Have I been fooled? So
where do they take you? Do you know, or do you just remember being taken, or do you have any memory of?
Yeah, I just remember being taken.
Can you describe the beans a little more for me?
They very small, probably 2 feet high. Okay. And I always, as an adult, I look back and thought maybe grays, but I don't really know.
Okay, so you have a huge affinity with the fourth and fifth dimension. I would guess you probably have an ability to see through the dimensions, whether you know it or not. I think you know it. And so these are what we consider little people. Actually, to me, it looks like your soul, either this time before the game or the time before, that you were pretty pure fae, not fairy, but in the interdimensional fae realm, possibly even in the little people realm. I actually think it's a positive, this is going to sound crazy, but a positive reunited. I don't think it's a negative taking, and I don't think it's anything other than what they are, which is fourth, fifth dimensional beings with the ability to lower their density and come into 3D or raise their density like the Sasquatch and Dogmen do. You vibrate really, 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 really solid fae to me. So I'm almost positive this is like soul family, and that somewhere you gave permission or had the agreement to reunite. So I actually think you're going to that kingdom and you're participating in pretty happy things, to be honest with you. I rarely see something this positive, but in your case, I think it's positive.
Yeah, I've never got a bad feeling. So.
I will tell you though, you are heavily involved in the what we call the projects. Now the projects, I'm not going to look deeply into if you're My Lab, Super Soldier, SSP, because the projects have to do with the corporations that run this reality, like CyberLife, Ultimate, Scorpion, Labyrinth. So you are being taken not just by these beings, but you are being taken by the corporations. You're an asset of the corporation. You do have very active base trauma mind control. We all do, but yours is really, really active. So you're being used in different projects, research projects, and in a lot of, you're highly intelligent. I don't know if you know that. You have above average intelligence. And so they're using you.
Not according to my family. Yeah.
But they're using you in these different corporations. You're involved in quite, a number of them. A lot of them have to do with robotics. A lot of them have to do with technology. Some of them have to do with, again, like assassination or, guns for hire. So yeah, you're being involved in some of these things. So there is some weird stuff going on, but those beings have nothing to do with what I just said.
Okay, good. Well, here's a good thing. It also explains why I'm probably happier in nature and with animals and hummingbirds. And
there you go. Yeah,
it's my thing. That's just where I'm happiest.
Well, that's your soul connection. Wow. That's your essence. That's your frequency. You're going to vibrate with all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And all my friends, the raccoons, are outside waiting for me right now. So,
oh, I love it.
Thank you. Thank you very much for taking my call. And thanks, guys. I love the show, and I love Jamie, and I love everybody.
We love you, too.
Take care.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right, I think this is James. I'm going to try to call back. Or I said I had him silent, so I'm calling him back. Yeah. We'll get him in a second. But I have to mention something really weird to happen. I'm sitting here. I do my show out of a basement. I can see a window. It's like out that way. And I don't know what that was, but something lit up like orange light outside my window. Like just for 3 seconds. It was like a huge orange light glow outside the window. That was
just
weird.
now?
That's a new one. Yeah, while she was talking. But we got James on the line. We'll get to that, I think. Is this James?
Yeah, I'm calling from my phone, which I was watching on YouTube, so is the volume up on the show since I answered the call, or is that like...
I don't hear it. I don't hear it in the background. I think you're good.
Okay. Hi, Dr. Kimberly. I had a question. Back in 2007, as crazy as it sounds, I was attacked or almost attacked by an owl that was over like 6 foot tall, and it was very wide. I wouldn't know how much it weighs just because of its feathers, but this thing was bigger than normal, so I don't know if this thing came from another dimension and was feeding, because it was originally going after raccoon before it turned on me because I scared away the raccoon.
Can you say approximately where this was that you encountered
this was in Cedar Lake, Indiana, pretty close to Vermilion and Klein, I guess.
Okay.
And it was in these ravines and woods that are on dead-end roads, and it was just on a small little patch. But actually the weird part was 4 years before that happened, a guy said he seen one that was 4 foot big, and we kind of all laughed at him and joked around for a long time, and then that happened to me, and I was just like, man, I never had a chance to tell the guy sorry at all, which I feel bad about, but, he moved out of the area, so I don't even know where he's living, but, yeah, I just didn't know if this was from our world or if this thing belongs in another place, and I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Jason, can you repeat that? Because his whole thing went out for me, so I don't know if somebody's blocking
he saw in Cedar Lake, Indiana, a 6 foot tall owl, right, James?
Well, it was bigger than 6 foot. I never got to see its legs, and its ears were a foot, and what its body from its head to the bottom of the belly was 6 foot. So I don't know what it would have been if it stood up and used its legs.
I know what I got it. I got what it is. So it was a thinly disguised bird tribe member. People call them angels or angels, but that was definitely bird tribe. Which, interestingly enough, James, I actually think you're bird tribe. So again, I don't see this as a negative visitation. I see this as a kind of a resonance. I think that being was attracted to you because in a previous incarnation, you are what we call the angels, which is usually seraphim. 90% of the time it's either seraphim or bird tribe. And I believe you have the frequency in your soul of bird tribe. So again, I think that was a resonance, maybe curiosity, maybe you thought you were one of them, even though in this incarnation you're in this avatar, not a bird tribe avatar.
Well, I had a buddy and he's seen it too. That I thank God that I did have a friend with that seen the same thing I seen. Otherwise, I probably would have locked myself up.
Right.
But he's seen the same thing, and he don't like to talk about it. So I didn't know if it was like alien related or something happened that neither of us remember.
Yeah, again, alien related, alien because we're trained to call everything alien, but it's just a different
Not from our world.
type of soul. I don't see that as super sinister.
So this thing doesn't live like in a certain place in the world. It just comes through our realm.
My guess is you will see that again.
Yeah, I was told that by another gifted person also, and I was also told that it was part ancient bird people and part Mothman. What I seen, but I don't know if what I seen was like the biggest one anybody's gonna see, and it was just like the luck.
Same thing. Mothman's bird tribe.
It's been described like an owl before, the way the Mothman, or some of the descriptions are very owl-like.
But it did have red eyes
Yeah.
before it flew away because I think the street light was lined up with it when it stopped trying to attack me. When I actually mentioned the word, oh God, that's when it finally turned around, which is weird enough. And then it sat up in the tree and it kind of had its back turned like a cat would be, like when it's mad at you or doesn't want to listen. It just kind of like has its back to you. And then when it finally looked back, it had red eyes. And then to make it weird enough, my buddy's tapping my shoulder to tell me to look behind me, and I don't want to take my eyes off of it because I know where it's at in this tree because there's no leaves or anything. And there's 5 more behind us that are almost like 3 foot tall, which I was assuming were babies because they didn't have the pointed ears like the big one did. So there was 6 of them that came through. So that's.
Well, and just for further education, bird tribe always plays both sides of the fence. So the good angels that people see is also bird tribe. They're just like people. They choose which side they play. Sometimes they play both characters. So sometimes the same being plays like the angel demon thing. So it gets really complicated.
Okay.
They love to mess. I would say my favorite F word, but I'm not allowed. But they love to F with humans.
Right.
One of their favorite activities.
I got another quick question. A year after that, then I ended up running into a family of Bigfoot, which was not even 3 to 5 miles away from where this took place at. So I didn't know if that was somehow related.
It's related because wherever that location is, there's an open.
Must be.
Hold on, let me look at it a minute. Is it negative? No.
I got to go there. Cedar Lake is not far from me, man.
There's an open neutral portal that just stays open. So positive, negative, anything comes through and leaves like all the time. Like if you hang out there, you're going to see a heck of a lot more than those 2 things. You're going to see everything.
Yeah, a lot of minor stuff is going on, like nothing to talk about, but a lot of weird stuff is going on. Like people ran after this, but these
That's
were,
a ley line
these were
portal.
2 big ones.
It's open. Yeah, nobody's closed it. It's a huge open neutral portal, so you'll get everything through there.
James, I want to call you Bird Person because I'm a Rick and Morty fan.
Okay, not a problem.
Bird Person. My email is paranormalsoupjbland@gmail.com. If you could email me a little more on where that's at, since it's in my neck of woods.
Not a problem. I can give you an exact location. I even have the picture on my phone of the tree that saved me, because if it wasn't for this little sapling, this thing was trying to get me. I took it personal after it happened. I was back out there the next night. I threw hot dogs out to bring the raccoons in, and I was armed waiting for round 2 just because I'd closure for myself, I guess. I don't know. My buddy was there too. He was armed, and we waited it out, spending weekends here and there when we had time to hang out there, because we thought we'd maybe sell it to Monster Quest if we did bag it or something. But the leaves grew in the tree, and then I've heard other stories from people, and I'm waiting on pictures actually from someone that said there was one in their yard that was close to 4 foot. So
wow. Well, thank you, James, for calling in.
It's a good story.
Thank you, Dr. Kimberly and the Paranormal Soup team. Thank you.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. Thanks. Bye.
Bird Person. I got other people calling in. We'll try to get back to the calls. We're going to be going to commercial break here in a few minutes. I know maybe it wasn't James that had the question. There was a question he brought up, or was it James, about do we keep the same bodies in our, like they were asking, do we keep the same bodies in our throughout our incarnations? Was that the question you put up earlier, Jamie?
Wait, what was the question? I forget what that was.
I was trying to get back to it. I don't know if that was James that posted that or somebody.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Okay.
I mean, that's how you get out of here. You lose the avatar. I mean, you know, I'm not going to recommend, you know, if you want to get out of here, it's very obvious how to get out of here. I mean, I'm not going to recommend it, but I mean, you lose the avatar, you know.
I mean, I'm a big believer in reincarnation, past lives. I've had my very vivid 2 dreams of, I swear, that showed me a past life. So I'm a big believer in it. Not everybody is, but for me, it's just undeniable. I know the 2 dreams I had were visions. They were extremely intense, extremely real. I was a different person, but I was me. Sure. I definitely believe in that there's a lot more to us, but. I've also had dreams, like I said earlier, that where I was like, aliens were taking me doing stuff. I just looked at those as just dreams, but your opinion, those things are probably real.
Yeah, they're either clone memories or they could be, all time is now. It could be future memories.
Yeah, future lives.
Well, not only that, but we have parallel. Like one of my friends, we were talking the other day, and she's living 300,000. Like she knows, she could tell you 300,000 points of consciousness because she can bring her attention. So our attention, our focus of attention is right here, right now. But we're living parallel realities, parallel timelines.
Yeah.
We're in other places, other realms, we're in the past, we're in the future. Like everything runs in a loop. Like every life you've ever lived is still running. Like you could literally, if you could take, and I do accomplish this occasionally, I'm working on it. I have the ability to go anywhere and stand outside my lives and watch it like a movie. But it's really cool when you can go and drop in it. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
if you remember
jump timelines
with full attention, with this attention. Right. So, it gets tricky because one time I did it on a treadmill and I almost killed myself.
That doesn't sound like a good idea.
I was like meditating and thinking of this past life. And then I like shot off I lost, I left my body. Did not work out so well. So I don't recommend that. Try to do it, in a safe place, but it's really cool when you can do that. But we have like, not just 5 lives, like we're living like just hundreds
multiple
of
lives
thousands.
At once.
Yeah,
we've talked about this with Gus recently, and
really?
Oh yeah, I think we were talking about the afterlife, and that was my Gus' perception too. Is that we have these other lives and multiple lives happening at once. There's no time. There is time's an illusion.
Right. That's right.
And I say with timelines, I'm a big believer in the multiverse. Is that we might with the whole Mandela effect that people talk about, and me and my wife talked about this a lot. Is that we are, there's multiple versions of us, and we could be consciously, our consciousness jumping to different timelines every day.
True. And also, there's a lot of time travel that's been happening for trillions of years in the game. And the butterfly effect is a real thing. So it is really true what they teach you in those movies. Like if you drop a glass and the first time the timeline, like the glass didn't drop, that glass will ripple and change maybe major things. So a lot of the Mandela effect is also
right. Time travelers changing stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to go to our last commercial break here.
Okay.
We can continue this. I know there's other people who are trying to call in. Looking at to see who I might have missed. I don't know, but we will. The phone lines will be down during the commercial break, just to keep things from going crazy. But we will take your calls, open the lines back up after we come back from the short commercial break and continue our conversation with Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, internationally renowned naturopathic doctor, energy healer, remote viewer, paranormal expert. We're getting down all those different weird, strange paranormal world that we live in and weirdness that it is. It's blowing my mind tonight. Maybe I'll get a little reading from you tonight see what you can get off of me going on here, but we'll see. We got time. I want to make sure the callers get time, though, when we come back from the short commercial break.
Intercepted a transmission of unknown origin.
Transmission? Out here?
SOS.
Human.
Unknown.
Alien. Certificate X. Exclusive engagement at the Odeon Leicester Square. now.
Any systematized transmission indicating a possible intelligent origin must be investigated. I will hear all this.
In space, no one can hear you scream.
If you are interested in discovering the truth about the paranormal and want to hear from leading researchers in the field, join Justin Brown on his 3 weekly shows named My Paranormal Soapbox, Necromancer Live Show, and the Supernatural Symposium, live on Facebook, YouTube, and
This is an APAC studio presentation.
Hi, I'm Barry, owner-operator of Barry's Barometer Barn. Lately, I bet you've been lying awake at night asking yourself, how many barometers do I really need? Well, at Barry's Barometer Barn, we think you need more than one. Otherwise, we're gonna go out of business. Remember, at Barry's Barometer Barn, we don't know the meaning of high-pressure sales. Come on, folks, buy another barometer. I'm trying to put my kids through college, I've got a family to support, and a secret mistress who isn't cheap.
Visit Barry's Barometer Barn, 000 Storm Drive. Come on, folks, buy a barometer. I'm Barry's older brother, Larry, and every time one of you people walk past the store without coming in, Barry beats me.
This has been a presentation from Tim Morgan's APAC Studio. For more almost professional amateur comic studio content, visit the APAC YouTube channel. Search APAC 2002. That's APAC 2002 on YouTube.
When Alex Gardner is asleep, he has an extraordinary gift. The government wants it, the scientists want it. But to keep it may cost him his life. It might be better if Alex didn't sleep at all. But he cannot resist entering the dreamscape. Can you? See Dreamscape in the West End and all over London now. Certificate 15. It takes an extraordinary adventurer to enter the dreamscape.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from Talkstream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Heat 'em up.
Do, re, be gone.
You're listening to Paranormal Soup, bringing you the weird every Sunday night. Call into the show and join the discussion. The call-in lines are 219-230-4444 or 260-225-9419. Or by Skype caller ID OOJBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup. And now to your host, Jason Bland.
Tonight's guest is Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, internationally renowned naturopathic doctor, energy healer, remote viewer, paranormal expert, and consciousness teacher. She's taking calls tonight. You want to go deep down the rabbit hole about yourself, get an energy reading from Dr. Kimberly. I definitely, she's got a lot of information. I think stuff that she doesn't want to say on air to some people that call in because it goes that deep down the rabbit hole. I'm interested to hear a little bit about what she has to say about my energy. But you can call in tonight. I'd rather hear about you. Call in tonight. Join the conversation this last half hour. But let's go ahead and get back to our guest. All right. Let me make sure I got the phone lines open here. I was trying to see who had called that I might have missed. Because there was some that I missed. I called you. Did I call them? I don't know. I'll leave it open. See if anybody else wants to call in. We got a half an hour left. So tonight, you know, you have like technology you're using to read people.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about what it is that you're using to read people's energy?
It's my app, Energy Remastered. I like to call it benevolent quantum AI technology. So we're always really down on, you know, AI and technology, but obviously technology does a lot of good. And mine is it's 100% accurate because it's just reading what's in your field with very little interpretation from me. You know, it helps me be a lazy psychic because now I don't have to read the frequencies myself. I just read what you tell me, you know. So, and
Well,
anybody can buy it, you know, like I said, it's
Right.
available to anybody.
It's like on the Apple and like
It
Google,
is. It's
Android. People.
We don't
What's
have
the name of it
Android
again?
because it's on
Okay.
iOS. We eliminated
iOS.
Android because most people don't have Android. No offense to anybody that does, but you know, we just didn't sell a lot of Android, so we eliminated it. But it's on iOS, and you can get like a mini iPad for cheap. You know, everything's so cheap now, so it's easy to, even if you don't have Android, it's easy.
What's the name of it again?
It's called Energy Remastered. And you
Energy
can fill out,
Remastered.
if they're interested, they can, you know, contact me on my website or write support@KimberlyMcGeorge.com.
Yeah, KimberlyMcGeorge.com. That's the website people should go to.
Well, yeah, that's fine. Or secrettoeverything.com. It both goes
Secret
to
to
the
Everything.
place.
Yeah, I said I had the secrettoeverything.com as your other website. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so let's see. I'm waiting to see if anybody else calls in because I'm not sure who I should call. Oh, nope. Wait, 12:34. See, this person called and it hung up. So I got two people that did. Okay, I got. Let me try the first one. I guess I am getting callers. It's just not answering it. I don't know why it's not picking up. Let me go to this one because they just called. I think I got 3 right now that just tried calling in. It did not take them. So I'm trying to get all of them. All right, so I'm calling somebody back right now. Remember, if it hangs up on you, I don't know what it is. I got to call you back. I don't know why it's being that way. So I'm calling one right now. All right, who do we got on the line?
This is Ghostwriter Anonymous.
Ghostwriter Anonymous, thank you for calling in.
And I just want to say hi, Jason, hi, Jamie, and hello, Kimberly.
Hi.
Well, I was calling because I wanted to basically kind of get a field reading.
Okay.
I guess if I needed see subjects or topics is basically kind of like I'm having creative conflicts with a writing project that I have going on.
Okay.
And also, I want to see if I can get, you know, if there's anything in there that I can resolve to get the ball rolling, to get my creativity flowing. And also, I guess, just kind of a basic overview of my health, if you can.
Yeah, it's a lot. We got to fit it in a short period of time because got a lot of people calling in. So try to give them the best you can.
Let me see what comes up.
Yeah. I guess the project first, if you have to.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So have you ever been genetically tested? I don't mean like, I mean like for like we call them SNPs or switches that have been turned on that are negative from both sides. So it's for like genetic medical conditions type thing. So, you can be genetically tested for specific things, but we used to do genetic testing. I just don't have time for it now. But I like to run a panel of 50 SNPs, which are, different genetic abnormalities, because you are coming up to me. This may play into what you're asking. It may not. But you've had this your whole life. So you have MTHFR or MTRR, I believe, which if you study the symptoms of that, it can be a whole host of things, including depression, anxiety, obsessive compulsive, lack of energy, lack of motivation, lack of focus, just a whole bunch of things. I mean, a million things, but you're coming up for it pretty strong. I would highly recommend you at least get checked for MTHFR, MTRR, because it's life changing. Because for you, when I go into you, I feel there's some mood disorder of some varying kinds that you've struggled with your whole life. And honestly, life changing, like mind-blowingly life changing. If you have these conditions and then you turn the switches off and balance them, profoundly, I mean, you would thank me every day the rest of your life. Seriously, it's that amazing. It's one of the, and I'm positive that you have, at least one switch turned on of one of those. Do you have any like joint or muscle pain, any body pain?
Yeah.
You said yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to recommend you also research something else, which you can get a prescription online or from your doctor if you have a doctor. And if you haven't looked into it, maybe you have, but it's called low dose naltrexone, LDN. And again, for what I'm seeing when I merge with you, I'm actually cheating because I'm using my tech and I'm merging with you, but oh well, which is a fun little ability of mine. But I honestly think these, just if I say nothing else, like if you follow up on these two things I'm saying to you, you will be like, OMFG, like, this woman's the most amazing thing since, the automobile was created, because these two things for you are just so profound for body pain. And the beautiful thing about low dose naltrexone is it also helps like correct brain chemistry. So I think from these genetic disorders, you have a lot going on in your body, mind, emotions, and even maybe spirit. And these two things working together, just profound relief in ways you never even thought possible. Like you would almost be virtually a different person and have a much more positive experience for the rest of your life.
Wow.
I mean, I really don't want to say anything else because I really don't want to shift focus from these two things that I see,
Okay. I'm sure a plethora of other things that I deal with probably stems from this. So.
I believe it's a root of not everything, but a lot of what has troubled you about your life or how you process things or how you feel about things. I believe this is the root. This is the answer. If you solve this, you will have a totally different life experience going forward in a much, much more positive way.
Okay. Cool.
I'm going to let you go on that.
I'll definitely hit up my doctor about that.
I want you to look into that, but I'm going to let you go on that. I know you wanted to know about the creative thing, but maybe it sounds like this is probably the best focus for him because I got the phone lines blowing up.
Yeah, I really don't want to. I mean, when I find something, I mean, I would say this is what we could, I mean, I'd be thrilled to find this in anyone because it's a key finding. Finding both those things like within minutes is just profound to me. Very life-changing. I mean, I could talk for the next 8 hours about him, but I would, my knowledge about these things and how they work and affect you, I just really strongly, don't forget this. You may be memory wiped, but don't.
You can go back and watch the replay of it.
You need to
go back and watch the replay.
Yeah, I'll assume at this point right now that what I'm dealing with creative conflicts and all this kind of stuff probably has a connection with what you're talking about.
Right.
And I believe that too. That's why I'm stopping here.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks, Jason. Thanks. And thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
You guys have a good night.
All right, bye. Okay, I'm trying to get to these calls. It's like multiple calls coming in at one time here, all on one line, and I'm going to go to this one, I think. Here, we'll try this one. All right, we'll see. Think this might be Royal. I got Marcia, I think I saw calling in. We're going to try to get to you guys in the last minutes. Just remember, it's going to be short readings now at this point. It's speed round time.
I'll try.
All right, who do we got? Who do we got on the line?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Royal, you're breaking up a little bit. You there?
Oh, are you up now?
Yeah, you're on. You sound like you're like in a tin bathroom or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. Kimberly, how are you?
Good.
Okay, yeah, I'm just calling in. Basically, I know we're trying to keep it quick here. I have a whole lot of things going on. I have my entire life. So I had one just a few nights ago, so I figured I'd call in for an energy reading as well.
Okay. I'm putting you through right now.
Okay.
So it'll be a sec. All right. Do I get to talk about whatever I want? It's always dangerous.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so do you live in an older home or older place? Is it older versus newer?
I would probably say it's within the last maybe 50 years, if that 50 years old.
Yeah, I would say that's old. So
I did. I grew up in a building. I grew up in a building that was well over 100 years old.
yeah, I can tell. So here's what I want to get across to you. I want you to research mold sickness and how it affects you, because you are being severely compromised from mold toxicity and systemic mold, which we also relates to candida inside your body. You have got to mitigate. You have mold sickness. So I don't know what symptom. I mean, it's just saturated through your body, and it affects your mood. It affects your thinking. It affects your everything. So I want you to research that. And then I don't know that you'll move, but there's things you can do to mitigate mold. And if you write me, I can help you with that too. So that's one thing that comes up huge for you. Again, I'm just going to bring some frequencies through your field. Some of the frequencies you're missing is joy and laughter. So I'm going to kind of weave those frequencies through your field. Another thing is interesting about you, because I don't think you're particularly young, but you're kind of like me. These older souls aren't really compatible with 3D. And so we can be kind of naive about things. So I want you to just be aware of your boundaries with people and your discernment, because a lot of people take advantage of you. You're very kind and you're a very giving person, but you need to be kinder to yourself by protecting yourself from people that use you and take advantage of you. And it's been throughout your life. You're just a very kind person. But I'd like to see you have a little bit more boundary and more discernment. I'm going to see what else I want to talk about you. Let's see. So, hold on, just kidding. Do you have stomach issues?
I do. Not severe, but I do.
Okay.
I do have stomach issues quite often, on and off. It comes and goes.
I was just
nothing severe. I mean, I do have a lot of pain in my stomach, though. I do get a lot of pain.
Yeah. So I would like you to get a good brand. If you need, again, I can recommend, but a good, strong herbal brand of ginger. That's going to really help your stomach. And take it, if you just want to take it like when you have pain or when you feel, like you should, that's fine. But I really would like to see you start taking some ginger for your stomach, because that came up really strong. Also, do you work a lot? Like, what do you do? I mean, do you work a lot?
Oh, I'm retired now, but I used to build cars for General Motors, and I did a lot of security work for over 20 years as well.
Yeah, maybe that's.
I'm retired now.
But what do you do like do you still work when you're retired? Like, what do you do with your days?
No. I don't physically work. I mean, I haven't worked now for quite a few years already.
Okay, so you relax.
Yes, yeah, I do. I do sit around a lot, which is really
Okay.
not good for me, but I do that.
No. I was actually, you need to sit around a lot. That's what I was going to recommend. So
Oh, okay.
you actually, your body's like in some weird, like it just looks like you worked a lot and it's time to rest.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't ever go back to any kind of intense labor or intense hobby, intense work. Like you do need to rest. You need to rest your physical body.
Okay.
One thing I'd like to see you do is I don't feel like I don't know. I don't feel like you have tons of people that are like you or interested in the things that you're interested in. I think it'd be really beneficial for you to find kind of more of a tribe than you have, if that makes sense. I think I think it would be nice for you. Hold on.
I'm very much into the paranormal, if that means anything. And I do tend to gravitate towards people that are more like me as well.
That's good.
You find them here in the chat room.
I'm extremely interested in the paranormal my entire life.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of reasons. So like right now in your house, you have a military remote viewer, which tells me you're associated either with you're being picked up by the military, or you're in SSP, or you're a super soldier, or you're all three, or you're 2 out of 3. No one has a military remote viewer in their house unless they're involved with the military. So there's more going on with you definitely than is known. But yeah, and it's not a big deal. I have a military remote viewer in my house. Anybody involved, they kind of they split their consciousness and they kind of half their job. So it's not, they don't pay attention half the time. It's not a big deal. Also, have you ever checked yourself for eye implants?
It's interesting that you say that. I've always had a problem with my right eye my entire life. And I was actually born blind, legally blind in my right eye.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That's just one of the things that sticks out.
Yeah, I think you should get a black light if you don't have one off Amazon. You can get like a black flashlight for under $10 off Amazon, and go in a closet with a mirror. And I'm positive you have eye implants, so I think that would be nice for you to see. I don't know why, but I think it'd be beneficial for you to see your eye implants.
Okay, now when you say an eye implant, do you mean alien implant? Because I do know, I believe I've been being abducted my entire life.
Oh, well, yeah, you have. But it can be alien. It can also be our military. It can be corporation. It can be 3-letter. It can be, I mean, most everybody has eye implants, including your pets, because what they use the pets for is they're actually little sweet, lickable, furry cameras. So they give a different, we have our pets up around us and all, just another view of monitoring what we're doing.
All right, Royal. That's a lot of information for you to check out there. I got to let you go.
Yes, it really is. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kimberly. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Jason. Have a good night.
All right, have a good night.
Bye-bye now.
All right, let me see. Trying to get these calls. It doesn't say the name. Let me check the other line. Yeah, one person. Let me see. Hold on. I can go to this. Hold on. Okay, I'm trying to get this one because they've been really trying to call in. All right, who do we got on the line?
Hey, Jason. It's Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
Hey. Hi, nice to meet you. I have a couple of questions, or like one major question.
Let's get to the major question because we're running out of time.
Okay. In a 7-month-long healing course, and I'm really enjoying what I'm learning. It's a self-healing course, but I'm also really drawn to like working with spirit and shamanic practitioners. And I was just wondering what you could see like in my energy, which one I might be geared toward, or would I kind of combine them both together?
Okay, I didn't hear after the shamanic course. Can you tell me the rest, Jason? I couldn't hear her.
Yes, I just was wondering which one I might be geared toward, the shamanic healing or the healing energy course that I'm doing right now, or if I might find a way to combine them both together.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Yeah, let me look at you a minute. You need to take GABA too. Um, you also
What's
have
that?
human. Sorry, this is random. I'm just going to tell you random stuff. I will eventually answer your question quickly. You also have human discarnates. I don't know if you want them in your house, so you're probably able to see, which is probably why you're attracted to all of that. So anything that you're doing that requires you to be a channel or a medium or recover soul pieces or read past lives, I don't know what your courses are doing, but anything to do with any of that, possibly an advanced form of soul regression. I don't like the way soul regression is taught now, but an advanced form. Um, you don't have any human discarnates in your body, which means you have a strong frequency, but I feel like you're attracting beings that want to communicate, like kind of like a pure medium ghost whisper type of thing, it looks like to me. So
Yes,
I were you, I would
I
go
do.
and do that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing for a couple of years. I do like rescue mediumship because they just kind of show up at my house, and so I sit and talk with them for a while. You know, so I've already kind of been doing that for a while. That's probably while they're around. 'Cause
Yeah, it's a
show up for
very strong, you have a very strong gift, and you can make money doing that because you're real and you're accurate and it's true. It's a true ability. So I always encourage people when they're asking me career advice, I always say, reach for the low hanging fruit. Like if you can get paid for being you, like get paid for being you, like, right, Jamie? Like that's awesome. Like that's the best, and you can get paid for being you.
Okay, good. I mean, I just feel like so drawn to the mediumship and spirit connection to it, and the energy course I'm in is great, and we're channeling like source energy for healing, but I'm not getting the connection.
You're a medium. You're a channel. You're a communicator. You're a mediator. You're a medium. Like I would stick with that and really develop that because that's your money path. Just so you know.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was wanting to know because I really keep getting like drawn back to wanting to do that, but I just haven't been practicing it very much lately because I've been focusing on the other stuff. But I keep like having shamanic journeys that are just incredible and communications that are just amazing. And I'm like, I love this part of it. This is the part of it I really enjoy, talking to spirit, and I want to incorporate that. Be able to help other people heal, but I want to be able to incorporate.
That is healing, though. I mean, I've talked to brokenhearted, college age girls that lost their mother, and 5-minute conversation channeling their mother was like, that is healing. It's profound.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Healing. It's profound healing. So you are a healer by being a real medium. So don't think you're not.
Oh yeah.
That is profoundly healing.
Thank you so very much. I don't want to take up any more of your time because I know a lot of people are trying to call in. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Debbie. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
I don't know if we can squeeze one more in. We got 5 minutes left. Let's see. I'm trying to see. It's so hard to see who calls. Let's see. Something went wrong. Yeah, I bet you. Trying to see which one it was that just called. Maybe this one? Try one more. We got 5 minutes. Unsupported number. Nope. Could be a block number, so we won't try that one. I guess I'll see if anybody else calls in. You got like 1 minute to do it. If anybody else tries to call in, we'll try to take it in the last few minutes. But what do you see for me? What do you got for me?
I should have already had you in.
Be selfish.
So
I'm selfishly asking here.
You're selfishly asking. Do you have anything specific? I mean, I'll tell you what I say, but let me run you really quick.
Yeah, just nothing. I can't think of anything specific right. My brain's gone blank.
It's been like
what's the question? 42 is the answer.
Oh, no. No, hold on. Let's see what your soul wants to say. Hold on. We'll see what you want to say in a minute. We're almost there. I should have had you in.
It's all right. I threw it at you.
Let's see what. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So, yeah, you have discarnates around you too. So, not shockingly. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
By the way. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. My wife says stuff follows me home.
Yeah, you actually have the ability. Do you know you have the ability to hear things, like hear things spoken to you? Do you know you have that ability?
Yeah, I have a feeling. Yeah, I've had some experiences. Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to clear some of that because you're having blocks to that. Oh, you're so interesting. So you have all the abilities, but you don't operate in them, and some of them are blocked. So you can see. She's smiling. You can see. You can hear. You know things. You're pretty powerful, actually. You just don't like practice or walk in it. So interesting. Yeah, your soul family is also. Do you know who your soul family is? I can't look at that live, but I can look at that. You need to because they're trying to contact you. Yeah, you're interesting. I remember you're interesting now. Yeah, I'm just going to do some work on you because you're asking for a lot of work, which is interesting. You have boundary issues too. Wow. Yeah. Not a lot. When you get mad, do you like shut down? Do you leave? What do you do when you get mad?
Depends on the situation.
What do you generally do?
Yeah, I might shut down. Yeah, I'm saying like I'll get my wife will scream and yell at me. I'll get quiet.
Yeah, you're a peacekeeper. You want peace.
Yeah.
You don't want chaos.
Yeah, that's totally true.
Yep. That came up. That's interesting. Let's see. Interesting. You're gonna have if you don't, you're gonna have. Do you have like stroke, blood pressure stuff in your genetic line? Heart, stroke?
Not
you're
really.
You're gonna have blood pressure issues if you don't change some things.
My mom has blood pressure issues.
Okay,
but
so
I when I've gotten checked for the doctor, they're always like, "Oh yeah, you got really good blood pressure," and
for now,
yeah.
Future. Yeah, you'll have to. You have so many like. Wow, you're such an old being. You have so many like. You have a lot of samskaras. You have a lot of soul scars. You've chosen a lot of dark villain roles too in past lives, and you have.
That would not surprise me.
A lot of altars that need integrated too. You have a lot of like. It's interesting, Jamie. You must have done some work on yourself because you integrated some of your trauma. It's weird. You like come back to center. I wonder, maybe it's helping other people, but
I do shadow work.
That's it. Okay, there you go. I see it. It's beautiful. I mean, it shows. Yeah, but you have a lot of work to do, Mr. Bland.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, but is he not, Jamie? Tremendously talented? Come on.
So talented.
So talented. High level. Like you could charge money.
And knowledgeable.
Yeah. And you've got the X factor. And so, that's magic.
The X factor?
Yeah, the X factor is, you know what I mean, Jamie? Like you can't buy it, you can't learn it, you can't sell it, you can't.
It's what sets him aside from the rest.
It's like,
oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, it's like sparkle. Like you're extra, you're different from other people, and it shows like in like your vibration and your frequency. Like it's just extra. That's why they call it X factor.
All right. Awesome. Well, Dr. Kimberly, you never disappoint. And we definitely got to have you back on again because I know there was a bunch of calls I still missed tonight. They were all calling in on the same line and couldn't get them all through. My phone lines are janky, so that's not their fault. It's mine. I need better system, I think, for people, but maybe one day. Again, website is the secretofeverything.com, correct?
Secret2everything.com.
Secret to everything. Okay, secret to everything. I wrote it down wrong. That's my bad.
That's okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Definitely check out your website. You have a contact information. People want to contact you on there?
Like I said, support at KimberlyMcGeorge.com, and there's a contact form on the website too. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Kimberly. Again, we'll have to get you back on the show. But that is it, guys. No show next Sunday, but we'll be back the following and pretty much booked up with guests until into next year. So we're pretty much going to be on unless somebody cancels, on a roll of shows all the way into 2023 here. So sorry, no show next week, but we will be back the following. So we'll see you in 2 weeks, guys. Same bad time, same bad channel, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Central, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. 11 p.m. Pacific time. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. And thank you to everybody who donates on our Patreon site, Paranormal Soup, Jason Bland. $2 a month, $5 a month does help pay the bills. Thank you. You always donate on Super Chat on YouTube, helps pay the bills as well. And again, thank you to everybody who shares out the show. Keep telling your friends about Paranormal Soup, where the weird and the paranormal happen live every Sunday night. All right, guys, have a great night. See you next week.